Can't hear you already.
Yo,
You
yo,
know,
yo.
I had a fire intro too. Let me start that over again. Yo, 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 yo. What it is, you know what it is, you know what it ain't. This your boy RKY. We got Leroy Green in the building. Super duper Servon is in the building. What's good, brothers?
What's
What's
good?
really good, y'all? What's
Chilling,
happening?
chilling.
We got one of them
My
panel
God.
shows. We got one of them panel shows y'all asked about. You know, Mike D is the only one
let's
that's
do it.
missing. He might chime in a little bit, but we got the panel in the building. Today we got a good show. We're gonna talk a little bit about Lloyd Banks, his new album. Talk about Benny the Butcher, about to carve up a new joint for Friday. We're gonna talk about this Kenny tour, how big the tour is, some of our favorite hip hop performers of all time. Sprinkling a little bit of Beyonce, talk about where her tour is moving. What else we got? We got Too Short. We're gonna show Too Short his love. We've been talking about it for a very long time. Servon and Mike talked about it on their show. This is gonna be the continuation of that. We got the top 5 Too Short albums, top 10 Too Short songs. We got the top 10 Short Dog features. So we got a Too Short special coming for later on in the
Benny,
show.
don't forget Benny.
I ain't forgot Benny. We're gonna talk about Benny. He butchering up something for Friday. We're gonna talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what's good, fellas? Y'all good?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir.
So
Already.
There, man.
Where we want to kick it off? Where you want to kick it off,
Banks,
Leroy?
man.
Let's start with Lloyd Banks. So Leroy, kick us off with Lloyd Banks, man.
Well, before I go there, some serious business in the culture. If 100 dudes is gonna fight a gorilla, they gonna lose. I want to be in the 90s. Put me at let me run in at 95. Y'all first 90 niggas, y'all run, because that gorilla gonna rip people apart.
Nah,
Trust me.
I don't know about that. What kind of dudes you talking about? You talking about some dudes that's like, you know, I'm about 250.
Hey, right.
I'm 250. You know what I'm saying? I'm 250.
Hey, I'm not mad.
I'm 256.
I'm just saying a gorilla though.
I'm saying, but if I got 100, I got 100 of my guys with me. We gonna have a strategy. You know what I'm saying? We gonna, you know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna. We gonna. I'm gonna lay back in the cut, directing everybody. You know what I'm saying? Making sure everybody's in a good position. You know, and then I'm gonna come
go
in
first. I'm gonna run in after. You know, y'all get them on the ground.
That's a crazy.
But anyway,
100 niggas like me whooping the gorilla ass, man.
Hey, if you get them,
underestimate how strong gorilla is, dog. Them niggas is strong, boy.
Hey, 100 niggas though, 100 not scared niggas that's really there, life or death on the line.
It's
Give
possible.
me 100 niggas. Hey, let me hand pick them 100, and we gonna win, bro. We gonna win.
Them first few niggas, they getting demolished.
Gorillas is different, dog. Gorillas is different, boy.
I ain't taking no chance. I'm just gonna bring my pistol with me, man. I ain't playing around no damn.
Yeah, you gonna have to. I'm cheating.
I'm bringing the 4.5 out. And I might bring the 9. I might bring the 9 too. You know what I mean? I
ain't no other way.
I empty the clip on them.
Yeah.
Who came up with these concepts? The internet is undefeated, man. Every day some silly shit that come out. It really had me contemplate. I really wasted 30 minutes of my day really thinking about this and putting in chat GPT and thinking how
those are high thoughts. That's what we call high thoughts. Niggas smoke.
Man, come on, man. Y'all really don't think
thoughts,
100 niggas can really take on a gorilla?
Hell no.
Nah.
Yes, they can. Hey, like I said, we ain't talking about a bunch like 100 like random niggas. We talking about 100 real niggas that's really ready to do what we gonna do to handle business in our life on the line. That's like saying 100 niggas at war can't take out 1,000. I mean, if you really know what you're doing, you know what you're doing, man.
Right.
100 niggas can take out 1,000.
Not really. If the gorilla is really going in though, like you got a silverback, really a real angry one, he gonna go in though.
Hey, but you gotta play the gorilla. You definitely gotta play the gorilla like an animal. And then when he get one of us, then the rest of us gotta bounce, man. We can't freeze.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's that
like
one.
I said, hey, 100 niggas like me, we gonna take down the gorilla, man. We gonna take down the gorilla.
Right.
It's possible.
We're gonna take down one gorilla. I mean, if it's 2 of them, that's a different story. But we gonna take down one gorilla. It might take 10 man per limb, but we gonna do it.
When we see that first guy get his head knocked off, we gonna be like, God damn. You know what I mean?
It depends.
That's when you gotta
it's super. Depending on where you
get
your
one go down, right? That's when you realize he's real. So if if we locked in the cage until everybody walk up out of here, I mean, sooner or later we can't be cowards no more. I mean, sometimes you gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah,
So
you gotta figure it out.
Yo,
That bite pressure when
I
a
tend to
gorilla
agree.
bites you.
I tend to agree with Super on this. I think 100 dudes can get him, but if the dudes got skinny jeans on, I don't know. And if I don't think
right,
they're gonna make it.
Little Uzi Vert getting
If it's
ripped
some
to
Uzi Vert,
shreds.
I don't know if they're gonna make it. I don't know if they're gonna make it.
Damn,
But
damn.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. It's
Yeah,
upstairs.
but we gonna get into it, man. So this is hip hop, man. We actually talk about hip hop. You know what I mean? We messing around right now, but we actually talk about music. On music platforms. So the Lloyd Banks, you know what I mean? I listened to it last night, put it on, and last time I had some gripe about Lloyd Banks about the beats, you know what I mean, the musicality, but this time, in my view, he came through the the first couple songs. I'm already locked in from Determination. If I Wake Up, 1982 with Ransom. I'm already locked in. Ransom say that for me, it's therapy. It's not just recording. The battle starts inside yourself. Your brain is warring. But anyway, the whole thing, the perspective that Lloyd Banks come with. Of course, we know the bars. We know the bars is already there. Like the just he does find pockets to rap in. Now he could have switched up the cadences because he did a lot of cadence switches on his last project, but a lot of the beats sounded the same. But even if you say like the beats sound the same, I'm not particularly mad at you, but he does have a lot of structure in the music. Like even though the beats can have a certain vibe, that structure adds like a different change up. But he's just rapping his ass off. But the maturity in what he's saying, the perspective, pick and choose, despite my mistakes. Styles P was on that. He said, before you ask for the follow, where am I being led to? So all the people be like, follow me on IG. It was like, where are you going? Why am I following you? But anyway, he has another, and y'all mentioned GFK, Ghostface Killer's on there. But the art of rap, the scheming he did on art of rap, fire. You know what I mean? And the beat was fire. Perfect World, he talk about the pursuit of knowledge. That is probably our saving grace if once we get into that bag. Fire. Traumatized. Just talking about perseverance. Fire. So overall, me personally, I was really impressed by the project, and I really did enjoy it. Like I was playing it back, playing joints back to the point where it's like, damn, how many times I'm gonna listen to this? Like, but it was fire. So if y'all haven't checked out the Lloyd Banks, do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor and get into that because I was rocking with it. You know what I mean?
I,
For
I
sure.
definitely I thought the album was pretty dope overall, and I will agree with you on
Mhm.
as far as conceptually it might be his best and most personal album that I can really say that I've heard from him. I do like a lot of
Might
the
be.
song ideas, and I like a lot of the knowledge he was kicking on there.
Mhm.
Overall, I mean, I think it's a real dope album. I think his bar work
Right,
stands up. You already kind of covered my only personal real gripe about the album is that
right, right, right.
a lot of the songs and the beats sound similar, but you can get
Mm-hmm.
over it as far as if you're really listening to them for the message of the music and the sound and
Bro.
the delivery of what he's doing. Lloyd Banks still spitting at at an elite level, and his songs structure and what he's saying is definitely dope. It's like I said, it's grown man Lloyd Banks music. So he's more
For sure.
personal about his situations, how he feel like he may be blackballed. I mean, he kind of speaks on that a little bit throughout the album, or not even blackballed, but just how fans can like be over judgmental as far as music and what they expect from an artist that's been through so much
Mm-hmm.
as him one way or another, and some of the beefs and some of the the behind the scenes issues that artists face, and sometimes the perception is not always the reality, and that he really kind of like covers
That's a
that
fact.
conceptually throughout the album. That's kind of like that's a true theme throughout the album. I mean, because everybody and their mama know Lloyd Banks is dope. Banks is dope. Everybody know that. but you
Spit.
don't understand why that maybe he's not on a major label or what happened throughout his career. And like I said, he kind of touches on it throughout the album. He's not really being too specific. It seems like he's not trying to start too much drama, but he is
Right.
still speaking on it throughout the album. And I think the album is dope. You know what I'm saying? Overall, it's definitely dope. It's one of the best projects so far this year. I can definitely give him that no
Yeah.
matter what.
I called it album of the year when I first ran through. I said, "Oh, album of the year." And I ran through a few more times, but before I let you go,
I think it's
he
definitely
brought
in
back the third
contention for
verse.
it.
Yeah,
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 it's
like
definitely
he
in
got
contention for it. It definitely is. It definitely is.
a lot of food for thought on the plate right here. But go ahead, Savon. Let me know. I don't know if you heard it, but
I ain't check it. I ain't get time to get to it yet.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to check it either. I heard the song that Super sent in the chat with Ghostface, but I had a question. I'll throw this out to you guys. When we haven't done this show yet. I've been talking about this show for a very long time, like the weight classes and the tiers of MCs. Where does Lloyd Banks like who's in his weight class? Right? When you think of Lloyd Banks, obviously he's been around since the early 2000s with the G Unit. You know what I'm saying? Came out heavy with G Unit, Hunger for More, Hunger for More two. Then he had his mixtapes. Then he had his career up until now. Where do we put Banks? You know what I'm saying? Who's in his weight class? When you think of Banks, who do you think of when you think of him as an MC or where he fits in the history of hip hop?
I think that's a
to me,
double-sided question in a way. Like in a slight way, like the way I think about hip hop. Y'all know I think a little bit different. So what are we talking like lyrically, or what are we talking about? Star
Just overall
power?
as an
Like what?
artist, lyrically and as an artist, when you think of Lloyd Banks and you was like you describing the history of hip hop, where does he fall in?
well,
Like who's his
let me go.
who's in his weight class? Is what I'm
Let me
saying.
go. I think artists like Ransom, artists like Conway, artists like um, the slaughterhouses of the world, people that have put the Royce to 5'9" or whatever, who have put out a lot of lyrical projects, right? And kind of get lumped into a bag of, oh, well, they're just being lyrical. And if you do that a lot of times, it could box you in to where people think they know what to expect from you all the time. And I think he's in that bag, which is not a bad bag to be in. I think Boldy, we were talking about that offline. Boldy might be in that bag. And this is not a bad bag. These are people that are extremely efficient at making music, dropping bars, being consistent, having thoughtful content. But it's like they're from that era of the Wolves, you know what I mean? Where you're just rapping, you know what I mean? And they're in a new era now. So I would put them in that era of, just the Wolves with Ransom and Conway and, people like that. You know?
I think that if I had to judge him or compare him slightly, or like with artists that I feel that are slightly comparable to him, I would put him in like a Joe Budden range. Like in that range, wherever you got Joe Budden, Lloyd Banks either can be slightly ahead of him if you want to because of his work, and or he can be behind him depending on how you feel. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna argue too much about it, but I think that he fits wherever you put Joe Budden at, and maybe someone like
I can see that.
maybe even a Dave East, like wherever
RJ
you got Dave East, Joe Budden, those type of guys, that Lloyd Banks can either be ahead of them by a number or two or behind them by a number or two, depending on how you judge it. So, I mean, it's hard for me
Right.
to say. I can't put a number on it because I wouldn't know where I would put a guy like Lloyd
Right.
Banks number wise. And like I said, it would depend on what we're talking. Like if we're talking straight up lyrical ability and lyrics and rapping ability, I mean, I think that he's somewhere at least in the top.
He's elite.
I'm gonna give him
If it was
100. I like I said, because I look
yeah,
at lyrics a
that's
little
fine.
different, but I'm gonna put him on 100, at least in the top 100. I'm gonna go that far.
Yeah.
Like I think I had to really brainstorm on it a little bit more than
But
what we just really saying right now.
But like I was saying though, like a week ago, how the game is so fragmented though, we have to consider that how many different demographics are in hip hop now. So if we're just purely speaking on the lyricism that Lloyd Banks does, just purely on that, then he would be in a high class with those guys. It's just that that's for that demographic. Now, everyone who's just listening for punchlines or whatever, you may be listening for a certain way. But if you're listening for perspective, you're gonna hear something different. You know, because now you're
I,
factoring in what's his perspective, and it is deep. And brother is an intelligent dude. You know what I mean? So
I get lost in a lyrical conversation sometimes, and
yeah,
because I don't know how much more lyrical or less lyrical that Lloyd Banks is compared to like a Method Man. You know what I mean? Like I don't really, I don't know. Like
it
I don't really.
depends
That's
on
not
how you, yeah, how you
like I
listen
mean
to Method
like
Man.
you being a lyrical guy. Would you say that Lloyd
Right.
Banks is more lyrical than Method Man, or like they're about the same? Like what would you like? How would you judge it? You being a guy that judges music based on lyrical abilities, or ranking
Me-
like you more comfortable with that talk?
yeah. It just depends on how you listen. Because in my ears, Method Man is one of the most lyrical people ever rap, ever to rap to anybody. I could make an argument that Method Man, just purely lyrically, I could make an argument that he may be among the at least the top 10 out of every rapper period ever, because what he's doing is he's using cliches. If y'all know what a cliche is, he's using that as metaphor and then chaining those together. Now once you realize that's the method in his Method Man, to write that is so extremely difficult that you'd be sitting there all day to get out 5 bars. You know what I mean? So, but see, I'm looking at it that way. You know, things get deep, and we're gonna get into that later. And with the whole lyrical thing, I don't want to press down on, well, this is better. These guys are better. I just want to press down how many different ways people could write stuff like that, and how it can be looked at. But I wouldn't put him among Method Man because that's extremely high. But if someone mentioned Scarface, right, and of course Scarface is an all time. Someone mentioned AZ. AZ is
Be,
extreme. So if I put Lloyd
hey,
Banks next to
be
AZ,
careful here, Leroy. Be careful, man.
no,
Tread
I'm gonna
lightly,
put
bro.
yeah. No, it's good. It's good. I'm gonna put Lloyd Bank next to AZ. But the reason why I would mention a Scarface is because Scarface has a lot of perspective. Like he has a lot of perspective, and when you listen to Lloyd Banks, he has a lot of perspective. So that's it. It just depends on if you want to take the time out and really think about what he's saying. And when a man is dropping 20 songs, how many of us have the time or want to sit down and actually think about what he's putting down? So it just depends on what you're looking for. I have the time for that. I have an hour to set aside and just listen to the project. I have that time. Other people, you may not have that hour and 20 minutes or whatever. So I understand, you know.
I know we're gonna get into this same talk
Mm-hmm.
eventually, but I really have a hard time judging like judging off of that. Like judging off of that type of lyrical standard and who's better than who lyrically, and why I say these lyrics are better than the other lyrics, or why it's I have a hard time judging
No,
that.
yeah, and
Being,
I and
being
I
like
and
that.
I do too. I think we should just. I think what I'm learning since I've been, speaking, hip hop all my life, but it's now speaking it on this pod, that
Mm.
people bring different things to the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's not always going to be quote unquote lyrical. And I also learned that just because it's not technically lyrical, could still be lyrical. Because, for example, I think
Absolutely.
Juvenile's "Ha" is a lyrical record. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a very lyrically
Yeah.
proficient and excellent record. You know what I'm saying? But some people will look at it as like basic, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's very lyrical. You know what I'm saying? Even Scarface, My Block, you know what I'm saying? The way he's just simply breaking
Yeah.
it down. You know what I'm saying? When I see him as glad, you know what I'm saying? It's just basic stuff. Even what Birdman does, you know what I'm saying, or what P does, you know what I'm saying?
Of
I think
course.
you sent me a list the other day, Super, you know what I'm saying? Bout It, and you know what I'm saying, My Ghetto Heroes, you know what I'm saying? That's lyrics, you know what I'm saying? But it wouldn't be technically lyrical. But I think I've learned to
Right.
appreciate that lyrics come from all different perspectives and different deliveries and cadences as well.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
just say something like the Marvel universe, right? A Marvel universe, you have superheroes, but each superhero has his own universe. And you have people that's going to watch Marvel and they're like, well, that's cool. They're not really thrilled by the Marvel universe. But then you have some people that is their whole thing. They're studying Spider-Man. They're studying Wolverine. They're studying Juggernaut. So it's like it depends on who you're talking to and how far you go. But all these rappers have their own universe. Method Man's universe is not Juvenile's universe, which is not Wiz Khalifa's universe, or Ab Soul's universe. So, and that's what makes it dope to me, though. You know what I mean? Is all these people have their own universe that they live in. You know, that's how I look at it.
I agree with you when you say that, as far as if you want to compare certain artists to certain artists. But when we get into this lyrical talk, like, it's hard for me to separate Mos Def from Lloyd Banks or even a Kendrick Lamar. Like, I don't know what makes Kendrick Lamar lyrically more supreme than a Mos Def, or I don't know what makes Eminem more lyrically supreme than Twisted. You know what I mean? I don't get like how I don't get the separation. I don't understand
Right.
like the judgment there when it comes down to it. I just don't. I never listened to rap music with that type of
Right.
thought process. You know what I'm saying? Really, honestly, and I do
Yeah, you're
understand, and
listening
I
to
get
enjoy
that
it.
there is a lyrical crowd that makes these judgments. I just don't know what they make them on. You know what I mean? I don't know what they base it off. I don't understand what makes someone more lyrical than the other guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that makes
you know,
sense. That makes sense. I mean, it just depends on who you're talking to. ASAP Rock just dropped a new video. A lot of people, they would be like, ASAP Rock, like, why would I be listening to that? But I'm into that. I'm when ASAP Rock album come out, I'm gonna check for that. But it's just that, like, a supreme clientele from Ghostface, right? And I know people don't like the Ghostface reference, but if someone says, well, I can't understand what Ghostface is saying, well, that's an appeal in itself. There are some people that are into that. Like, if you spit a rhyme that they can't understand, they're into that. Like, they'll go look up the lyrics on Rap Genius. They'll spend all night trying to figure out what you said. They're into that type of puzzle piece rhyming. So it just depends on what you're into. Someone like an Eminem, I would consider extreme lyricism, where he's trying to match so many syllables that it compromises the musicality to where it's almost like he doesn't care about the music itself. That's extreme. You know what I mean? So, and some people are going to be into that. Some people are going to be like, nah, you don't compromise the music to do that. Black Thought is not compromising the music to do that. He's still going to make sure the music.
or even not just the music, but even the message, even being understood or heard or coming across properly. Like, I mean, I said, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of guys, honestly, I really think a lot of guys use the lyricism as an excuse or as a way to like slight other rappers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
Sure.
really think
and I think we should have that discussion. I think that's a deeper conversation. We should have another show, but I think we should dig deep into that. But I do want to go to Ab Soul. I know there's a topic we talked about in our text. What was your who wanted you want to lead us off there, Leroy? Give you your context. I don't even know the situation. I think there was
I could.
he put out a statement last week about him not getting the light and him getting not being able to go on
Okay.
tour. You want to speak on that a little bit?
I could, but just real quick, all the nerds, real quick. I mean that in a good way. Lupe Fiasco has an EP out that you got to just find, but it's called Goading MIT, right? But he's rapping about the abstract structures that he sees. Now, if you figure out that's very difficult, but we'll go to that another time. But Absol, I don't really know exactly what the gripe is, but he feels that he should be in a different place, and I know he wanted to do a tour. I'm not mad at any of that. Every artist should be pushing that the thing that they do. But from my standpoint, I don't know what the relationship is like now with him and the rest of the team and Kendrick, because maybe Kendrick is not even on the road with them like that. But I think that I think at this point, letting Kendrick just cook. Now, when I say letting, he's going to cook anyway, but just letting him cook and then taking that energy right after he gets off the road and initiating your own tour, I think that might be the answer, because you're kind of going to catch that energy. And y'all meet me on the tour after Kendrick gets off the road. Now, but I'm not mad at him for any of his comments, feeling like he should have his own thing if that's what's going on. And he's earned it. he's earned, you know, his right, and he has his fans. I'm one of them that would follow him on the road or whatever. So, you know, I mean, I understand. But
bro.
lyrically, I think Kendrick, you know, he can go up lyrically and he can bring it back down to earth, you know, and I think that's a cheat code, you know. You go ahead.
All that
Mhm.
shit means nothing. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
All
And
right.
the reason why I say that is number one, Kendrick's not even on TDE no more, so he's not a factor to whatever Absol has going. Whatever TDE does
Right.
with him, what they do with him. That's number one. Number two, we have to look at the facts and call it a spade. I fuck with Absol, but I have to acknowledge the fact that the whole time Absol been on TDE, he has 0 hits. He hasn't put out not one hit. The albums don't do well. And it's no shock to him because I actually like Soul Burger. But the type of artist that he is either you're gonna go mainstream or you're gonna keep it at the level where you are. And this is what I don't like about rappers. When you step in the game and you want to rap, you understand what is your lane that you're going to do it for, and then stick with your lane. If you want to venture out, if you want to cross over, cool. But I hate when rappers go to a certain lane and solidify themselves in that lane and then complain about the lack of success that comes with it. This is
Right.
literally something that happens with most of these artists that have these cult followings and lyricism that you guys like to quote and unquote it.
Yes.
You can't complain
Say it one more time.
when you pigeonhole yourself to this, you can't be mad that you're not getting to that next level. You're not making music that's palatable to everybody. If you make music that's more palatable to a bigger mass of people, then maybe you'll obtain that success. I've listened and I've tracked Absol's career. I've seen the past interviews around Soul Burger, specifically one he was talking about DJ Head. I mean, he was talking with DJ Head and he was talking about, you know, wanting to be able to make those hits. And you know, they talk about the Kendrick pop-up show, and he was talking about Head gave him, you know, some advice on BPMs that he should fool with for do it. And you know, you could hear that on
Right.
records like All That and stuff like that on the album, but it's like essentially when you listen to an Ab-Soul project, you got to think about what song off these projects is going to appeal to a better mass of people, you know? And I think people got to get out of the box of now. These guys have been in the game for over 10 years now, individually. That's J Rock, that's Kendrick, that's Schoolboy Q, and all these guys have managed to get a hit. Everybody except Ab-Soul. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. And all of them has been able to have albums that appeal to more than just a cult following. They make music that's a little bit more palatable. At this point, you can't blame nobody but your approach to your own music. You know what I'm saying? So if you want that success, then you know what you need to do. If not, be happy with what you're appealing to.
You got to dial that sword. Hey,
You can't
dial
blame
that
that on the
lyrical.
label, bro. You
Hey,
can't.
I agree with you, Savon. You got to dial that lyrical sword. Dial that lyrical sword and stand on it.
You gotta meet a medium, bro. You could put the medicine in the candy. And
what if you say, well, this is my
nobody likes more medicine. You know what I'm saying? Like
this is my mainstream. Like if I want to be Wu-Tang and I want to make Triumph, and I say, well, to me, Triumph is a mainstream song. If you say that enough people will believe that because you have said it. Now, whether it is a mainstream song or not, the fact that you put it out there that it is, you might be able to hold down a whole tour off that mentality.
yeah, that sounds good.
Maybe Absol need to say my mainstream is
theory.
different from your
That
mainstream.
sounds good in theory, but his mainstream is the reason why whatever he's appealed to is the reason why he maintains being at the level that he is, bro.
And I still think there's a lane for. I think there's a lane for that. And I don't know I don't want to speak for his team or his management because they jumped on our platform. They gave us a dope interview, so I'm pretty sure they're doing the best job they can do. But there's lanes of people that can go. There's lanes for artists. For example, GZA.
There's lanes out there.
GZA for the Wu-Tang Clan. RZA said on Breakfast Club that he's the most. He tours the most out of everybody in the Wu-Tang Clan. He's totally booked up for years on years on years on years because there's a lane for that. So maybe his team is not putting him in the proper position to go out there and appeal to that.
The team is not responsible for the type of song you go in there in the studio and you do. They can't at this point. You think they're telling Ab-Soul what to record? They're not writing his lyrics.
No.
This is on you, bro. As an artist, when you step in the booth, you know what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So you can't be mad that you're stuck at the place that you're in and you're not doing anything to change that. And I fuck with Ab-Soul, and this is me saying this like sincerely and from the heart, bro. If you want things to change for you, you have to switch up your approach to music or be happy with what lane you're into. People like Ab-Soul, bro. People like him. But unfortunately, if you want to get to that level where you're being looked at as mainstream, whatever, you're gonna have to go outside of your base that you built this whole time and
I
appeal
agree
to,
with you, Savant. I
and that means
definitely
make
agree.
music that's more palatable. It's that
I
simple.
definitely agree. I think a lot of guys, they get stuck in that sound, and just because they lyrical guys, they think their music got to sound a little weird or something like that. When I think a lot of these lyrical guys need to be rapping over more current beats, more of the hotter stuff to get their message across properly. Like I see
I see
nothing
that.
wrong with Ab Soul or a Lupe Fiasco or anybody dropping some lyrical bars and doing a lyrical shit over a Metro beat, for example. This is just an example. You know what I mean? Like over a Metro beat or over some
Yeah,
hot fire production. I think that shit will go a long way further than them just being lyrical over mediocre music, or just want
I
to
guess
lean strictly on on their lyrical abilities. If their songs don't have replay value, like okay, great, man, you lyrical. We can give you all that props, but don't get mad when
right.
people ain't really bumping your music like that, or if your shit ain't going platinum, or if people don't appreciate you the way that you feel that you should be appreciated. I mean, I think you do
Right.
have to learn to appeal to and like TDE said, you got to meet people in the middle sometimes, or you got to bring some of that lyrical fire and
Switch it up a little bit.
those lyrical messages to some of these fire beats that's gonna catch people attention anyway, and then drop some of that shit on there. But you can't like you can't just stay where you want to be at and then expect people to come to you and expect that this shit is going. I mean, you got to obviously see, all right, this shit ain't working. Absol. Okay, I'm not selling like that. What can I do to sell more? What can I do to make myself more relevant? I'm
That's
dope.
that's
I'm
true.
nice.
Yeah,
But like if people telling you, okay, choose some better production, get on some more fire beats, do shit like that.
that's
Don't
true.
don't be stubborn and be like, no, I'm a lyrical rapper, and this the lyrical shit, and this lyrical shit got to sound like this, or it's not lyrical, or the people won't appreciate the
I
lyrics.
think
It's
I think he
you got
did
to be
that
able to play
with
that
Soul
happy
Burger.
medium.
I think he did that with Soul Burger. You know what I mean? If you really tap into that, and I know y'all heard that, and y'all know what I'm talking about. But I think he did that with there. But the only pushback I could say though is in 2025, if everybody's going like this, everybody's going downhill. You got the big three that are going uphill, but all the other rappers, everybody's sales is going down. So at that point, when do you say, well, maybe I need to define what a different kind of mainstream is, because I don't even know if we can define mainstream outside of the big three. Drake mainstream, Kendrick mainstream, J. Cole mainstream, Big Sean mainstream. But once we get out of that bubble, who are we defining as mainstream now? You know what I'm saying? Because
I
it's like even
I,
Rick
I think
Ross
another
is not, you know,
I
where he
think
used to
another
be.
problem that like a lot of these lyrical guys that that lean on the lyrics. Another problem that they have is that they like I said, they feel like they pigeonholing themselves. You know what I mean? Like I think that they have to learn to branch off. They have the same problem that a lot of the OGs in raps have in rap have. It's fine.
Right,
It's no I don't see nothing wrong with Jadakiss rapping over 2025 sound. I know maybe it
right.
might be harder for him to rap, but he dope as hell. I don't see nothing wrong with Nas rapping over um, a conductor beat or something more current. Is what I'm saying. I
Is
have
there
no problem
is
with
it
that.
just the
I,
beat that's going to be the game changer? Just
but
changing the
but
beat?
for some people, it is just it's strictly sound. I think especially the way that this generation is, and even us as fans too. I mean, it can be it's sound too. There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong with
absolutely.
updating. There's nothing wrong with updating your sound with these same dope fire ass lyrics that you already got in the bag. Like it's nothing. Like it's nothing for you to write dope ass lyrics and for you to be able to fit in. There's
Right.
nothing wrong with them being able to fit in and make this shit hot over more
No, it's
current
not
beats.
wrong.
You're not
Yeah.
selling out. You're not disappointing me. You're
Yeah.
not doing nothing, and it's just making you fit in. You don't have to rap about a young subject matter. You can spit that
Yeah, no,
same
there's nothing
knowledge,
wrong with it.
spit those same
Yeah.
lyrics, spit that same fire over more current beats, and I would respect it the same. You know what I'm saying? And I
No,
think some other
this
kids, some of the younger generation might respect it the same. But a lot of these guys, they want to come out and they want to hold to boom bap beats or a certain sound or even a certain technicality of rapping, and it's holding them back. You gotta read the room.
You know, really, you know, we could say beats or the way lyricism goes, whatever. Really, what it is it's a song. It's either you can make a good song or like I ask every rapper, and this would be a question that everybody should be asked: what do you do it for? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you do when you step in here and you say you want to be a rapper, you want to go in here and you want to make an album, you make a single, whatever. What do you do it for? And then from there, you know what your trajectory should be, what your demo is going to cater to, all of that. Once you made that decision, it seems like Ab made that decision a long time ago of what box he's going to be in. Now he wants that. You see everybody around you getting that type of success. He's the only one that's solely signed to TDE out of all of them. I think the rest of them have some type of like joint ventures. We know Kendrick's no longer with TDE. Right. So I think that's another thing that kind of like, you know, you're solely signed to TDE. I don't know what that looks like for you as far as like how you work other situations, as opposed to anybody that's kind of having those ventures with other big record labels, what those labels have them do or how they help and assist. But it's like at this point, bro, just make good songs. Like that's what plagues a lot of battle rappers. A lot of them do not know how to make.
Still trying to figure out what good is.
They don't know how to make good songs. You know what I'm saying? Most of these battle rappers, dope at battling. We can go YouTube and see whatever battle so and so, but you get them in the booth to make a song, nobody want to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying?
But
like
here's the thing.
And that's what was so special about Cassidy in the beginning is that Cassidy knew how to formulate good songs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there was a little bit help. I mean, coming straight out the gate, he had a song with R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? So he had the help, but overall, Cassidy knew how to make good songs and cater to that lyrical fan base. You know, and I just feel like what do you guys do it for? If you want to keep on rapping for niggas that wear baggy jeans and Tim's, still cool. Go do that, but you can't be mad at the success that comes when you cater to that type of demo instead of worrying about if you want that type of success, let's make this shit more palatable and more digestible for everybody to just like it just for a good song. You could get your point across and still make a dope song. There's a lot of factors that go against that. First of all,
are the dope songs moving the needle out here? Like, do dope songs move the needle?
Before we continue,
do they matter in 2025? If your song is dope, does that matter in 2025? Does a dope song move the needle?
Hey, before we continue, let me put the brother in context. I want to make sure I quote him right. So this is what he said. He said he posted this a couple of days ago on the 25th. He said, so according to the numbers, analytics, or whatever the fuck, a tour for me has yet to been finalized. Soul Burger dropped last November. I'm not pointing any fingers, but damn, I feel like that was some of my best work. And it was a dope album. It was really good. Something's in the water for sure. This feels similar to the end of physical distribution, which ultimately resulted in the fall of my family-owned record store, Magic Disc Music. I suppose I say all this to apologize for the delay to anyone who anticipates seeing it perform live. I do hope to see you soon. So I just wanted to make sure I put his accurate statement up there.
Quote him correctly.
Quote him correctly and what he's trying to say.
Yeah. Like I was like I was saying though, man, like I fuck with Ab. I like Ab. I really did like Soul Burger. But like one thing that I even see with him is just like, man, it still got to be palatable. Like think about Tyler the Creator stuff, right? That last album, it kind of like in sound wise, kind of mirrored what I got from Soul Burger a little bit. But you hear Sticky on the radio all the time. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like you have to make stuff that's palatable that people is gonna like, and outside of what your normal base is. Like you could bring people in your world and go into their world as well, bro. It's like people just got to get to making good songs.
That's what I was gonna say. If you're talking about to use another analogy, like the middle class, relate to the biggest pool of people, the middle class, right? But if the middle class is disappearing, then who am I really talking to? If the boxes that used to be rap are disappearing, the guy that rapped about the fashion, that box disappearing. The guy that used to rap about emotions, the box disappearing. The weed guy, that box is disappearing. The main gangster guy, that super gangster, that box disappearing. The dope guy, that box is disappearing. So now if I say I want to make just a new box because I don't think there is another person out here that's like me, You know what I'm saying? Now that's a different challenge. And that's where I think that Absol, he may be going there. Like, what if my box don't exist? I gotta make the box. You know what I'm saying?
I
Literally.
I I,
Because you
I
spoke about battle
understand.
rap, but they do have their box. You know what I mean?
I understand that angle, Leroy, too. But I think that it's kind of a problem sometimes when not particularly Absol. I'm not really particularly speaking on him. I'm just speaking on guys that fit the lyrical box, that lean on the lyrical aspect, or I like like I like to call lyrical supremacists, people that like to highlight lyrical supremacy. Um,
Right.
Sometimes they try too hard to be different. A lot of these guys rap over beats that just don't even make no sense, but they do it on purpose to like prove
But
their lyrical supremacy.
but maybe I'm
And
old. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Super. Go ahead,
no,
Super.
go ahead, Ron.
Now
Go
maybe
ahead.
I'm old, man, because I remember a time like even when we talk about Odd Future and Earl Sweatshirt. I remember when Earl Sweatshirt first came on the scene. He would go around these little college towns and do tours. I just find it hard to believe that they can't put together no type of run for Absol. Like it's no type of run that he can't go to Europe and do a run. He can't do
I
a
mean,
run in
no,
Cali.
he
I mean,
could.
he can't get
Yeah,
he can't get no shows. I just don't understand why they couldn't put together something like a 5 or 6 city stop. Because I remember, unless the game has changed so much in the last 15 years, artists like that was in that vein where they made that niche music, like Earl Sweatshirt,
right.
they would go on tour and do like they would go to college towns, do 5 or 6 city tours. So I just find it hard to believe that TDE can't get him no type of situation. I don't know
I
the
mean, but
business
No,
of it. I just
they could.
So
let's be
here's
honest
the
though.
thing.
Let's be honest for real.
and
Like when we talk
Earl
about this,
Sweatshirts didn't have no hits. Now he wasn't had no palatable music like that. This shit was kind of weird.
Right.
Let's keep it a buck. I mean, he still did shows. You know what I'm saying? He still had a tour situation.
Right, but just real quick, what's not a hit in this market is a hit in another one. So we have to know that too. Like here, you're gonna say this person has no hits. When he goes to another market, it is a hit. You just don't. You're just not over. You're not in Europe when he performs over there to see that song connected. You're not in South America. You're not in that middle part of America where in that town that song connects. You know what I mean? But you weren't there. So we have to know that too.
hey,
You know what I mean?
So here's
let me say this before you go ham. Just this real quick, Savon. Just real quick. Let's not pretend that TDE has a lot of other artists. I mean, really, if you really think about it, I mean, it's SZA and it's Doechii. I mean,
Ray Vaughn,
those are
right?
the artists that's
And Ray
really,
Vaughn on TDE.
and Ray Vaughn. I mean, they don't have enough
Yeah.
artists to put on a. I won't say they don't have because SZA is big enough, but how does Ab Soul fit into a SZA concert? I mean, is it really proper to have Ab Soul open up for SZA? Is that the
Well,
same
nah.
type of demographic? You know what I mean? So like the way that TDE is
Schoolboy
structured at the
Q.
current time, is you can't say that Kendrick going on tour is a TDE tour. I don't know. Like I said, I honestly I haven't seen like who's on the tour. I don't know if he has other TDE artists. Maybe I know it's him and Scissor. I want to say right, Scissor. They like
Mhm.
she's a part of the
Yeah.
tour, right? But other than that,
Yep.
I don't really know like how they really put the tour together. But from what I understand, Kendrick's not with TDE anymore, like Savon said, and I don't see how he appeals to Kendrick,
I'm
SZA.
just saying, if you're measuring it on popularity, we're measuring it on the popularity we see, but we don't see the whole country. Now, when they
It's
get
not
out there
even
on the
like
road,
popularity though. It's more
when they
about
get
what
on the
he
road,
does
it's
versus
different.
what they do. It's kind of more
Yeah,
what
and
what they do versus what he does. I think it's
right.
it's
You
now
know, I
if it's
get
a
it.
TD,
I get it.
if it was
Yeah.
strictly a TDE tour representing their artist strictly, TDE would be out of order to leave him off of the tour. I think I would
Right.
agree with him on that. But that's it. That's it. Go ahead, Shimon.
I think him and Schoolboy Q on the road, him, Schoolboy J Rock, kind of makes sense to me. You know what I mean? But
mean,
go
yeah,
ahead, bro.
that's cool, but I mean, we're treating us like Absol as a new artist, bro. And even the comment about like the college tours, whatever. I was in college when Ab was doing those. And there was one point in time on TDE where Ab was one of the most popular ones on the label. Like
For sure.
there was a time, and there was also a time where Ab had some stuff behind the scenes going on in his personal life. There's some music that was inconsistent. There was like, you have to think about that when you're thinking about fanfare, and one thing we could say about these artists that are going on tour is did not SZA has an album that's trending towards going diamond with SOS. Kendrick just had an amazing year. Even if say, and she's not even on a tour. Just imagine if they threw Doechii on there, whose album is trending up. That shit dropped like what, August of last year, and it's still just trending up, right? And it's Grammy nominated. When you stand that against an Ab Soul, business wise, what do you think is gonna put asses in the seats?
Of
You
course,
know,
of course.
from the business aspect. From the artist standpoint, I can actually understand Ab because again, he is the only one that's solely signed to TDE only. No or anything outside of those other guys that's a part of the collective of Black Hippie, right? So I can understand the frustration that he feels he's putting out his best work and it's not catching, he's not able to, he's not touring, is whatever. But it's at the end of the day, you have to realize these people, just like you put in the work, and I think he's very, very talented because other artists realize it. There's an article that I think he did with a platform. It was a print interview he did some years ago. I think when it was releasing Herbert. Where he talked about the success factor of hip hop and how they move as a unit and how, like, you know, people give him his props, like Jay give him his props, how Kendrick and some of them will run lines by him before they go do it. Like, he also looks to, like, they look at him as like the brilliant genius of TDE. But just like being a brilliant genius of TDE, sometimes you get too smart for your audience. With nobody want to listen to music where they're always feeling like they just can't sit back and just enjoy it. And that's the thing, bro. And I think that's what plagues a lot of artists that are in those type of bags, are like, I have to be in a certain mood to listen to this shit. I can't just hop in my car.
I
understand, Siobhan. I totally understand where you're coming from when you say that, and this is why I say that guys like that choose to be on that lyrical side, guys like an Ab Soul. You know, Ab Soul, he's a friend of the show. We fuck with Ab Soul hard, and we enjoy his music as hip hop heads. But we talking about what can make him grow and be better as an artist, period, or for him to make that appeal. The only thing that I would say to Absol is to switch up your production, pick more popular beats that fit the time. You know what I mean? Don't go with too much abstract shit just to show off your lyrical ability. Show your lyrical ability over some fire beats. That's really it. That's the answer to everybody's question.
So get some mustard. You saying get some mustard beats and he'll be
get mustard on the track. Fuck with Metroid. I mean, not specifically them, but there's plenty producers out here that can do this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to be specific. I'm just using examples. Get some more updated production. I recommend that for every artist at the current time. Every artist, any artist that's an OG in the game that's making a comeback. That's the key to everything. Show these niggas how to rap and how they should be rapping over some of this great production that's out here. Show them what they should be saying over a mustard beat. Show them what they should be saying over a Metro beat. Show them. You know what I mean? Like, that's really what it is.
That's an
You don't
angle.
have to flex your ability. You don't have to go to all the way off the wall to show off your lyrical ability. I think a lot of these guys they want to go too much against the grain to show that they can rap and they can be lyrical. When it ain't that serious, man, pick some fire ass beats and do that lyrical shit over some fire.
I think he did that though. I think he did that with the last album. You know what I mean? The last album is it's not lyrical miracle. It's just simple raps over a cadence that is the popular cadence. So I do
agree
hear
with you though. I agree with you too. I agree with you.
And there's levels, right? He could have, if you're saying more fire beats than what is there, then okay, there's levels. Well, I understand that as well. You know what I mean?
You got to play games with this fan base now. This fan base they're not the smartest of guys. As long as the fucking beat is fire and you spitting some dope shit, you're gonna look like a genius to these guys. You know what I mean? They don't know nothing about real rap. Y'all gotta start taking advantage. These artists gotta start taking advantage of some of this, like I said, the current sound, this fire production, the way, like, the current tempo, and put some of that dope ass lyrics, drop some gems on this shit. Rap don't get old to me, and I think that as long as the shit sound good and y'all spitting some shit, the people will respect it. Don't pigeonhole yourself to a certain sound. Don't feel like you have to do boom back. Don't feel like you have to do weird sounding shit for people to listen to the lyrics. Make this shit fire.
So you really like Boldy James though, right? So should Boldy James be taking some of your advice? Should Benny be taking some of his advice?
I think
Because
Griselda. I agree. I say the same thing about Griselda. I think Griselda. They've been rapping over the same sound for so long. There's never nothing wrong with switching your sound up. There's never nothing wrong with the way that
no, there's
Benny the
nothing wrong.
Butcher raps when Benny on fire and he rapping good, or when Bodie on fire, or when Conway on fire. When they rapping, when they doing that shit, they can do that shit over anything that's out here.
But it also sounds like there's now some people I don't believe this is possible. But is it possible that a person like for Absol or Benny, is it possible that they could bring the masses into their world though? That's the
With better
crossover
beats, with better
I'm looking
production,
to
they
make.
definitely can.
Instead of going into the masses world, you bring the masses into your world. Is that
Bro,
possible still?
it's
You know what I'm
simple. It's
saying?
not rocket science, bro. It's just called make
Yeah.
the hit. Every artist is always one hit away from getting that.
Rocket science.
It's just the hit's
Right.
not easy to make. I know, like
Hell nah.
things
Hell
not
nah.
typically quality in music has been considered hits. We have Sexy Red who have hits
Yeah.
in people's.
A hit is
So
hard to make.
I get what a hit is
Yeah.
crazy now, but it is still hard to make a hit, believe it or not.
Hell yeah.
But I think this is interesting, the place that he's in, because I remember verbatim on this show, I asked Ab, due to like the success of others around him that comes from the TDE fam, does it bother him that it's not the same for him like that? And his thing was like, no, he looked at himself as a vessel, whatever. So it makes me wonder what changed. Is it because you're looking at the attention that Kendrick is getting, or are you looking at you feeling like you're lyrically superior compared to other people, and you feel like you should be getting a nod?
I think it's more of a label thing. Like, if y'all believe in me, y'all should push me from him.
I think I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I agree with him when he say, like, if that's what he's thinking, I agree with him. Like, if this is a label tour, and if we call this a TDE tour, or you know what I mean, like we promoting our artists, or Kendrick giving anybody a layup, like, I've been out here on the internet fucking with Kendrick, defending him throughout the Drake beef, talking, you know what I mean, like I'm a soldier. I'm down with TDE. I'm TDE, but where the love at? Where the support at? I think that's how he feels. So I feel like he like, show me some love. And
I think it was just
wrong
a
with
tour
feeling
thing.
like that. There's nothing wrong with feeling like that.
Yeah, I think this is an isolated situation based on the tour itself. I don't think he feels a way about Kendrick, or I just think he's like, look, I want to do my own thing, and y'all didn't set that up. And in the moment of that feeling, you said what you said, which I understand. This business is frustrating.
Where it's coming from, because I don't think it's animosity between him personally and the team. I actually think they're a little bit more tighter than what the public like perceives. I think they handle stuff in-house pretty well. The only person I really see going around doing interviews a lot is Punch as of lately. So TDE really had a tight shit, you know what I'm saying? But as far as Ab, it's just like, just get in there and just keep on getting to the music, man. I mean, there's no excuses when it comes to this shit. You may feel like that's your best work, but the people may say otherwise. So get to it. There's a lot of artists that feel every time they get in the booth, they're giving their best work. You know what I'm saying? But the people will say otherwise. Just keep on pushing out the music, bro. And if something happens, it happens.
It's obvious that Ab-Soul ain't like in the position that he feel like he should be in, or that he feel like TDE is trying to help him to get in. And I don't blame him. Like if Kendrick his guy, I mean, where is his feature on GNX? You know what I mean? Like he had all them features of all type of people. Where Ab-Soul should have been able to get a feature. He should have been able to.
He had was SZA though. At some point in time, we can't keep blaming everything on Kendrick,
I'm not
bro.
blaming. It's not even ready to blame him. It's not even ready to blame him. But it's like, if we cool like that though, if we cool like that, and you see that I need a leg up, like, throw your guy a bone.
Bro, I'm here with you guys every week.
Sometimes you gotta be
I'm
like
here with
that.
you guys every week. I do Monday, I do Thursday. How many of my friends you think retweet or reshare my shit? How many fucks do you think I give? If I'm doing stuff and only my friends are paying attention to me, I'm not covering the ground. I need the ground. You a man, bro. Get out here and get it. G, we can't be waiting on people to give us looks or waiting on people to give
I can
us
see
those
that.
fake deals. Like,
It's
you got to get out here and create that shit, bro.
it's not
This money, you have to get your hands
it's
a little
really
bit more dirty.
it's not. I agree with you. I'm not saying nothing against what you're saying.
Yeah,
I get
two things can be right.
I get what you're saying. Like, you know, like as far as what you mean as far as being a man and whatnot. But I mean, this is the record labels, man. This is the industry. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so like, yeah, a good look from a hot artist that goes a
Yeah,
long
of
way.
course. You know, I
You know what I
think
mean?
everybody's
Like,
just doing what they do. You know,
yeah,
I don't think
Kendrick.
nobody feels away. Like, I don't think you'll ever see Kendrick and Absol
I
having an
mean,
issue.
it should
I don't
be
think, but
Kendrick should have gave Kendrick. And this is not a knock on Kendrick, and I'm not even trying to blame him. But Kendrick, you know, he GNX came out after his album. He see that he should know the numbers. He see what's going on in the industry. He see it ain't moving well. It wouldn't have been a bad idea to maybe throw Absol a ball and give him a
yeah, I
reason to
hear you.
even be on tour with him. Like maybe he can come out
But
and spit this verse, get a little bit of attraction from this, get a little bit more attention. I mean, but at the same time, I get what Kendrick is saying and maybe what his idea. Like,
right,
who don't know Absol at this point? You know what I'm saying? Like, really, who
yeah,
don't
it
know
may not
and
have
who
been
don't
in.
care?
It's just not in Kendrick's zone right now to do that, and
Well,
which is fine. You know what I mean?
well,
But I would say, you know, don't throw your story out the window. Like, rely on your story. There are people out here that don't know Absol's story. Now, aside from rapping, if you can convey that to masses of people, there's something special in a lot of artists. If you hone in on that, it's no telling what could happen, because the world doesn't have a set model. You must do A, B, C to get to D, E, F. It doesn't have a set model. You could create something, or people could relate to your story
I
in a month, in a year's time. You could bring the masses in. You know what I
I
mean?
just
So I
think that
wouldn't throw that out the window. You know,
you know this shit would never happen under No Limit. This shit would never happen under Cash Money. You know what I mean? Like these type of
it
situations.
could
Well, no,
happen.
I mean, no, man. Even Mr. Servone got a Mystical feature and a Snoop feature, and you know what I mean. Like if you show a love and you a record label, sometimes you got to go all in on your artist to shine, to give them that light, man.
I can
You
see
know,
that.
TDE. I like if this TDE and this is what they doing and this is the record label. Sometimes you gotta throw. Where's Absol SZA feature? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
goddamn, you
it's
know,
moving fast though,
you
Super. This
I
train
get
is
it, bro,
moving
but
fast. You know what I'm
either
saying?
y'all want to see me fail, or y'all want to let me go, or y'all looking for an
Nah.
excuse to drop me, or y'all gonna throw me a bone, or y'all gonna give me a feature, or y'all gonna like do something to help me out. You know what I'm saying?
sometimes you gotta take that bone, though. So you gotta take the bone. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think that he not? Do you think that he
Pause
not,
on
or
that too.
are they not offering?
If I wanted to go on
Do,
tour, I would dig. If I wanted to go on tour to showcase this wonderful album, because I think Soul Burger is really dope.
It's a dope album.
I would self finance my tour.
Well, I mean, or at least just be
yeah,
around and just you know,
man,
be,
I
because
get it,
this
man.
happens a lot. This happens a lot. A lot of these rappers, they're
Because
friends with
if the
these
label
hottest guys.
if the label show
Happens.
you they're not, if the label in the situation showing you they're not doing nothing for you, you gotta take matters in your own hand and move on.
Well,
You
all
can't if
artists have
you can't wait
absolutely.
around. You can't wait around hoping and
I
wishing
mean, maybe
that they're gonna do right. They're not doing right.
Well,
maybe he wanna leave. Maybe he wanna leave. Or
who's gonna
maybe
have
they
his
want to
best
get
interest better than those people
maybe
that
he
can't
want to
help
leave,
him?
or maybe they want to get rid of
You're
him
not.
because
You're
it's no
not.
reason why you don't support your artists. I mean, this TDE, like I said, I couldn't imagine this happening on Rockefeller or any other label. I mean, when
It
you
It
when
happened
you're
did.
on
an
it.
It
artist,
didn't
The
happen.
main
It
reason
did
why
happen,
Rockefeller
man.
fell apart is because of this. And what Jay was trying to say is, what Jay didn't verbally say, but what he was saying is, respectfully, the Young Guns are not me. Respectfully. So while Dame is in there expecting the Young Guns to sell like Jay-Z, what Jay-Z is thinking, that these guys are not really me. Freeway is not me. Beanie is not me. Like, and that doesn't take nothing away from them. It just means that they are not him. Like, when it comes down to, Jay was gonna go platinum every time, double, triple. Not everybody could do that. And if you're trying to force that through the label, what Jay was saying is, even if I force it, I cannot make people buy Joel Santana's album if I can't force them, you know what I'm saying? I just can't. Even me, I can't force that. And that's the hard reality, you know what I mean?
Well, let's
I mean,
segue.
like I said,
Let's
I
segue.
feel you, man.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean,
You ain't wrong.
yeah, I feel you. Go ahead, Savon.
You ain't wrong completely though. I get what you mean though. You
Servon,
ain't
cook
wrong
on that.
at
Let's
all.
segue after that. Servon, last
Yeah.
thought on this, and we're gonna segue.
Yeah, I don't think it's personal. I don't think it's personal with him in the label. I don't think it's trouble with him in the label. I don't think it's anything in house that he's frustrated about. I think he's just frustrated at the fans and frustrated with the way his stuff is not connecting with these people. And any artists who want to connect to those people, you're gonna find frustration. That's frustration of an up and coming artist. You want to get your music out there, and the people it's just hard to get the people to connect with it. At this point, he's been in the game for over 10 years, bro. We can't keep on throwing the bone like pause, like he's a up and coming artist and he needs an extra push. Like at this point, man, all right. Kendrick is not giving you the shout. These people ain't putting you on the thing. Why aren't you Schoolboy and J Rock going on a tour together then? Well, like, come on, man. Like, what? Lupe is your boy, right? Why are you and Lupe and y'all stuff ain't putting stuff together? Why these people that are bringing you out on the stuff? Why are they not figuring out positions? Why it's always like, I'm just saying, bro. There's other avenues.
Yeah.
I've seen other people make it work from spaces of cult followings or those niche followings. It's just like at a point
That's
in time,
the
bro.
key.
You just gotta make dope music, man. That's all. And dope to you don't mean it's dope to everybody else.
No doubt. Well,
Yeah,
this is the perfect.
your cult following. Your cult following is your mainstream. Treat it like that.
Hey,
You know what I mean?
let me say this real quick before we leave off on this round, before we head to this. I just think that I think we got too many examples of how to do it right. Like there's too many examples of how to
Thanks.
support your artist properly. 50 Cent did it.
I can hear that.
Cameron did it. No Limit did it. Cash Money did it. We wouldn't know who Nicki and Drake was without them features with Wayne and those songs with Wayne. And you know what I mean? Like sometimes you got to show your artist some love and expose them to your biggest artist fan base and give them some exposure. Let them know that this Ab-Soul, he out here. He got some nice shit. He got a couple features with Kendrick Lamar. You know what I mean? I mean, you got to. I don't like. Other than that, it's like artist neglect, in my opinion. Like really, you're not doing your artists any services. And okay, they can stand on their 2 feet. They shouldn't need a Jay-Z, but that's bad. That's bad business. That's bad business practice right now. Even Rockefeller should have known better. They have examples of how to make your artist go platinum. And when you got a roster like they had and like they do have still, you got to
Hey
use
man,
your roster on your
like
guys. You got to use
Savon
your
was
roster.
like Savon said
You
though.
got to.
A hit record is hard to make.
And we
But if
let-
you made your decision that you want to stay solely on TDE, you don't sign no joint venture or whatever, that's basically essentially saying that you want to grind it out and do it for the soul and do it for independent. So you have to treat that like those artists that moves in those spaces. That's simple. You can't, if you want to move and that's the decision you want to make, you can't expect mainstream big record label push from something that's really moving like an underground self-conducting machine. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to actually get out there and you have to put legs to your shit and watch it grow. Like you really have to work your records. You can't just drop an album, go to hiding, and then drop a tweet or something like that. Like you have to push your stuff, bro. And I know touring, and like he said, as a way to do it, but there's other ways to do this shit. Your presence have to be felt, man. And I don't know it all. I'm not an artist. You know what I'm saying? That's not my realm. That's not a bag I'm even trying to be in anymore. But one thing I do know is if just as much as you believe in your shit, you have to make other people's believe in your shit. And if you're not connecting and doing that, then bro, you're gonna be running the same hamster wheel race, going in the same circle, doing the same thing over and over again. At one point in time, when you gonna switch it up and do something different? He's not a young artist. He's not an up and comer. He's up there in age. Like at some point in time, there's too many examples of how to move in this stuff that people have shown you. Pick one.
A lot of those examples are before, but I know.
And we got to move on, Leroy. Let's let it flow.
They created their own mainstream.
Let's let it flow. They got to move on to the next topic. Kendrick Lamar tour. Yeah. People are telling me, I'm reading the reports saying it's a record breaking tour. It's sold out, city to city. I think he was just in Atlanta this week. Him and SZA, and it's a successful tour. So, has anybody in the chat? Has seen the tour? Has anybody on the panel? Have y'all heard anybody talk about the tour?
Yeah, I have a couple people that went to
what
Atlanta.
was the feedback? What was the feedback you
Very-
got from? What was the feedback you got from the tour?
Saying it's amazing. I've heard all good things from it. I haven't heard one bad thing from it yet. I know DJ Mustard wasn't on like a couple of those early shows. I think he was on some of these last recent shows because he's supposed to be touring with them. But I've heard nothing but good things, man. And I just want to go to say I told you so, Ron. That's what I need to tell you. I told you so because when that's all the ticket sales were, I told you that this was going to be the result.
You know what, it's Servan. You know what? It's funny. I can't. The numbers say what they say, but I've been in it, and I talked to Mike about this online. I will impart this on you as well. I've been in Atlanta for a very long time, and maybe I'm just old and washed up. Maybe I'm just not on the scene. Every big show that came to Atlanta, you felt energy in the city. I got people on Facebook, Twitter, whatever the case may be, Instagram. You would see people posting it. You would go to the barbershop, folks would be talking about it. This is the first time in all my life. And maybe I'm just out the game.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm just washed up. But I've seen Kanye come to town. I've seen Jay-Z come to town. I've seen DMX come to town. I've seen Nicki Minaj come to town. I've seen Wayne come to town.
But Ron, does ATL give it up?
Let me finish what I'm saying. Every time in Atlanta, my 20 plus years of being here, I felt the energy when somebody big came to town. This is the first time in all my life. I don't know not one person in my network that went to the show, that's talking about the show. But maybe
Ron,
I'm just
you gotta get this up, man. You gotta stop.
Ron,
I'm just telling you
maybe
what.
You need to get outside more. Maybe those people you are at stay inside too much because there's butts in those seats.
I'm just telling you what I'm just telling you.
Killer Mike has been doing big shows in Atlanta for 20 years, and Killer Mike is a big artist. Not like Killer Mike is a big artist. Do you see that energy there reflected? Do you know what I mean?
I'm just telling you what I observed.
Rapper.
I'm just telling you what I observed, man.
I got you, but also Kendrick did not conform to the mainstream. He made his mainstream. When he came in the game, he was an alien. There was no Kendrick Lamar. There was no Kendrick Lamar sound. There was no Kendrick Lamar style. He created that.
And I'm saying I'm wrong. I'm saying I'm wrong, and Servan was right.
There was no sound.
I'm saying I'm wrong. Servan was right, or what he said was going to happen. I'm just telling you, out of all my years I've been in this city, because I'm the only one on the panel that's been in this city. Every big artist that came to the city, you felt the energy from the barbershop to Lenox Mall to the streets. This is the first time I've ever seen not nobody I know said they went to this show. And
I don't think you feel that energy with Killer. I don't think you feel that energy with Killer Mike.
I usually
There's Atlanta artists that was there. That's funny.
I usually agree with Ron a lot, man. Me and Ron usually agree like he like to say at least on 90% of things. But on this one, I gotta disagree with you on this one, man. Like
y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Y'all pretending, man.
No, I don't. Like Run the Jewels is a big group. Does Atlanta show up for Run the Jewels? They're in Atlanta doing big shows. Does that energy reflect to you? Run the Jewels is not a small group.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
This is even like besides that. This is even besides that point, man. Kendrick Lamar is a huge artist. It is nothing. There's nothing else to talk about. Period. Kendrick Lamar.
I'm not disputing that.
No, hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish what I'm saying. There's a lot of people that look at concerts as just an event. I'm a concert guy. Like I'll go to a random person. I might not even like Lil Wayne and get down with him like that. But if he come on tour or whatever, I'm gonna go to the tour because it's an event. There's people that's gonna go because it's an event. There's no I understand why Kendrick Lamar tickets sold out like that. I mean, he had one of the best years, and not even just because of this year alone. I mean, he's a deserving artist. He don't come around that much. You know what I mean? Like there's no, it's not a mystery on why his tours sell out like that. I think to deny that fact, Ron, come on, man.
I ain't denying the fact. Y'all not gonna make me say. Y'all not gonna make me seem like I'm some crazy old hater. I'm not saying that.
It's like I've seen everything that tried to go against the grain with Kendrick. First, it was like, oh, they're paying people in the seats. Man, he's doing stadiums. That sounds fucking stupid. Oh, well, he had to do it with SZA. He did numbers on Mr. Morale by himself. He didn't have to go on tour with anybody else for that, and he set record numbers on that. So it's like at some point in time, bro, it's either you just don't fuck with him or it's just like whatever. But like, I don't even entertain the stupid stuff I see now, because those butts in those seats in that stadium, that's what matters. That's what's setting it. People say, "Oh, those black people, those white people." Well, I've seen a good amount of everybody in that motherfucker. You said,
everybody.
Let me clarify. Let me clarify. Let me clarify my statement one more time. I said Servon was right about his assessment on the tour. I did not say anything about bots. I didn't say anything about other type of fans. I said, from me personally, that's been in music, worked at radio stations, that's been on the streets, has been talking to people all for 20 plus years. This is the first, and I said, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm washed up. Maybe I'm out of touch. This is the first time a big superstar artist came. I'll call him a superstar. It's the first time a big superstar artist came to this city, and I didn't see any energy activated within the city, from the barbershops to the chicken wing spots.
That's because them niggas in the barbershops probably couldn't get the tickets. The shit sold out fast. Like them niggas thought they was gonna be able to wait a little minute and shit, and the shit sold out fast as hell. Like all the suburban kids and shit that
nobody from Clark, Atlanta, Morehouse, Spelman, Georgia State.
Hey, you know how we like to procrastinate.
Nobody on my timeline went to the show. I would say it's remarkable. It's a remarkable
I know a lot
feat.
of people that live in Atlanta, and I know a lot of people that's in Atlanta who went to that show, Ron.
Okay.
It's a lot of people outside.
I'm washed
up. I have a lot of people in Atlanta.
And I
Ron, we're all looking for things that have already been done to identify, that is this. What if an artist comes through and there's never been that type of artist before, and he's from California? So if he's not buzzing in Atlanta, he's from California. But it's like Kendrick he's a one of one. Ab-Soul is a one of one. You've never seen these people before because they never existed. We've never had a Kendrick look before. So if you don't feel that energy that you're used to seeing, well, that makes sense because there was no Kendrick Lamar coming to Atlanta before.
Man,
but
y'all gotta understand,
people
man.
It's not even that deep.
People seen LeBron James at the pop-up tour in the crowd. You know what I mean? Like this, like every Kendrick Lamar tour, he did the Super Bowl. It's a major event when Kendrick Lamar come to your town. So right now, I mean, no matter what, and before this, you know what I mean. But there's no surprise that the tours are selling out at record numbers. This ain't no surprise, and like to act like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna admit, all right, Ron, I'm gonna throw you a bone. I don't really hear people playing Kendrick Lamar coming out. They, out the cars, and I go out. I'm in the clubs. Y'all see it. Y'all see what I'm saying. I'm outside. I don't really hear Kendrick Lamar's music really too much when I'm out like that, But so what? So what at this point? So what? He's popular enough to where anytime he come to your town, it's an event. And people that don't even like the music and people that don't really even know him like that, half of those people gonna buy the tickets just to be there in the crowd and be there at the event.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course.
And there's a performative aspect.
He's selling like this, man. And he's a performer. And he's dope.
Performer.
You know what I mean? So
the performative
aspect. Come on, man.
The performative aspect is huge. You know what I mean? So that's why I think making your performance a big deal, like with dancers and screens, I think that is a big deal.
Well,
is there. But it's not like this is a surprise. He's setting records on this one. He set records on Mr. Morale, and that was by itself. Like to do stadiums. Think about it. There's 3 artists that are doing stadiums this year: Beyonce, Chris Brown, and Kendrick. Not a lot of artists can go do stadiums, bro. And I think we're kind of minimizing that as well. Of how hard it is to sell out a stadium and do record numbers in stadium. Your favorite artist cannot go do that, bro. Not a lot of artists can go do that.
Right.
You're in Atlanta, and you saying you didn't hear about that. What Atlanta artists do you have right now that can go do a stadium and sell out?
None, not one. But again,
okay, so the fact that he's in your city and he's selling out in the stadium, that says something. Damn, who's not talking about it? Most people that have something negative to say don't make the bread to even go to a concert like that. So it's a bunch of broke niggas talking about shit they can't afford to go to.
That's what I'm saying. Like most of these niggas can't even afford it, or they wait
talk about my
circle.
I ain't gonna let you talk about my folk like that. Now we ain't all broke now.
A bunch of broke niggas that's talking about shit they don't have the money to get into.
Well, I ain't broke. Why I ain't go to the show?
No, you don't like Kendrick.
No, he like him enough that he would have went. He just waited too long to get the goddamn ticket.
No, I didn't know he was in town.
You didn't,
I think
and the
it's
shit was sold.
okay.
By the time you knew, the shit was
I think
sold out and you couldn't get the ticket. That's what I'm saying. By the time
Yeah.
you did know, you couldn't get the goddamn ticket.
And man, so you talking
think
about Cole headline, bro? He just did records on Mr. Morale by himself, bro. Drake even had to bring Cole half of the two-thirds out of the big three on his tour.
One day, somebody that's not popular at all is gonna go down the street from where you live and sell out the arena, and they're not even popular, and you're gonna be like, how does that even make sense? But it's going to happen, because I think we're thinking that if we don't see something, it must not be moving because our eyes don't see it. What we don't realize is there's a whole other world outside of
Yeah,
us.
and I realized that I realized that and
Moving.
I've
I'm not
conceded
just talking to you, I'm just
I've
saying,
conceded the point. I've conceded the point. I said
yeah,
I was wrong. Servan was right. I'm just saying. I'm just making. I'm just an observer, man.
that's fine, yeah.
I just observe. I'm
But
a
we
fly.
got to know that.
I'm just a fly on the wall, G. And I'm just saying,
Hey,
out of all
Ron,
my
Ron know good and goddamn well, just like me. Like I said, I might not be the hugest of Kendrick fans, but I'm definitely, if you come to my city, I'm definitely gonna go because I'm just that type of dude. I'm going to go to the concert. I'm going to events when they come,
I plan on
especially
going.
if
Yeah.
He's killing it out there. And
I'm just saying
Savon?
maybe again I'm out of touch, but I know when Beyonce comes to town, I see it on my timeline, I see it on
I
the
got you.
news, I
I
see
got you.
people, I see the chicks at the salon, my wife getting texts. I'm just saying, even my daughter, you know what I'm saying? She got friends that go, ain't none of her friends went to. I'm just saying,
Beyonce,
I'm just saying, man. I just don't
Beyonce, a
know, man.
different animal.
But shout, I'm
Beyonce,
gonna go if I can catch Kendrick in somewhere else. I don't know when he gonna be in. Has he done Vegas yet?
No, he's doing Vegas May 31st.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I'm gonna be in Vegas when I'm gonna be the Vegas the week before for Memorial Day. So I'm gonna miss him.
I would say this: Kendrick is a big deal, and it's not off trying to drop hit records. It's off dropping what moves him. That's his hit record. He didn't chase a hit record sound. He chased what he wanted to do and made them come see him. So I'm not against going after I'm not against going after the hit record because that should have changed your life if you get one. I'm not against changing the beats up because that shit will change your life if you make a successful one forever. But there is also something to be said about the guy that sticks to his guns. From Section 80 to Good Kid to Pimp Butterfly and Damn, he stuck to his guns because them singles he was running with weren't the popular sound when he dropped it.
Right,
You know
and
what I mean?
we got it. That's a good point, Leo. We got to stop saying that observation is hate. Just because one person has an observation doesn't mean that the one's a hater.
I wasn't saying that, but
I saw
I got
somebody in the chat saying that I'm a hater. I'm not a hater. I'm just observing. If I
right.
I lived in this place. I spent money in this place all my
Savon,
life. I'm just telling you what I see and what I've seen. I can't tell nobody what goes on in Milwaukee. I can't tell you what goes on in Duval. I can't tell you what goes on in Oakland. I can only tell you what goes on in my city. And this is the first time I've ever seen something like this. And I'm just saying it's the first time I ever saw something like it. That's all I'm saying. First time I ever seen
I
it.
think you got an artist going on.
It will be the last.
On records, both times he's been on tour in less than how many years? I mean, that's no small feat. Reminder, the first one, there was no co-headline, and he set a record. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I have to break out those numbers of people that gross in tour-wise, solo-wise,
we know.
In that top 5. Like, I could share that list. I shared it with you guys before. Then you see he's doing it again. This is 2 times, 2 different tours, setting records. And like I said, it's not a small feat for anybody to sell out a stadium. That goes for anybody.
Anybody selling out an arena, bro, you gotta go crazy to do that. Okay.
I think when we talk about Kendrick and this tour and like his appeal and why people care about him and why people why he's an event when he come to your town. I mean, I think this goes to the conversation that we just actually had, that he does play a safe side of blending his music well. He's lyrical. He makes hits. He's conceptual. He does a good job of doing a little bit of everything to where, I mean, you can see that he has a broad appeal to a lot of people. You know what I mean? And he good at what he do. I mean, I can't hate on Kendrick, man. I'm like I said, I'm a real Kendrick fan. I am critical of him when we have to compare him or when we have to like talk about him as like the GOAT or to say, when we get to saying To Pimp a Butterfly is the greatest album of all time, then I might sound like a hater to you, but I respect Kendrick. I think he dope. I listen to him. You know what I mean? And I understand why he is what he is, and I
I mean,
understand why people will be
right
flocking.
now,
You know,
Right now, if you have a huge audience, the game is so fragmented to where you could have a huge following and the town right next to you, they don't even know you like that. That's how fragmented the game is. So we just got to keep that in mind too, though. But Kendrick, yes, his music covers a lot of bases. If someone said "To Pimp a Butterfly" is the greatest album ever, it's not that for me. But if someone explained it's because the musicality is switching through all the different black genres, then that's quite an amazing argument to make. You see what I'm saying? And it's like,
And
you
here's
know,
another 1 year of this quote unquote manufactured hype don't sell out stadiums. That album like that alone doesn't sell out stadiums. This is a collective of all the work he's put out throughout his career that got him to where he could sell out stadiums. You know what I'm saying? Like if we just think, oh, you could drop one album and it's manufactured hype and right off that's how you sell out a stadium. No, bro. Your
no,
your your catalog on top of everything else that's currently going for you. That's how you move. You know what I'm saying? Selling out stadiums is not, like I said, there's not many artists that can be able to do that or have the catalog to sell to even be able to do that. You know what I'm saying?
that's
So,
fact.
we can't minimize that type of stuff. Doing a stadium, most football teams in those same cities can't sell out those same stadiums. You know what I'm saying? That's not a small feat.
No,
Yeah,
most definitely. So definitely, we're gonna check it out. He's on tour right now. Go get your tickets. Let us know in the chat if you enjoyed the show, if you like the show. I think I'm in a lot of this demographic. Hopefully, I might go take my daughter as a graduation gift to the show.
me too. I mean,
I'm gonna catch him. I'm gonna see what because I like good shows, man. It segues to the next topic: best performers. I want to ask everybody, y'all. We all been to a lot of shows. What's the best performance? Hip hop performer you ever seen? What's the best show you ever been to?
Well,
I had a
I
couple of them.
mean, you got a couple of them. I saw Jay in the early 2000s, and but I
Jay as a
like
performer.
I like that MC type of. I'm going to rap shows. I'm a rap guy. But as far as like what Beyonce does, I think that's a whole other level. What Kendrick does, I think they're gonna look back later and be breaking down just like they broke down the Super Bowl thing. I think they're gonna be breaking down Kendrick's, and they're gonna find a storyline in his performances. But it's like I go to rap stuff, Wu Tang, stuff like that. So their performances are great to me, but are they performing? Now, yes, in a sense they're performing in what I like, but are they doing what Kendrick and Beyonce does? That's something else. That requires a bunch of different things happening at once. So, depends on who you ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I plan on seeing Beyonce this year too, just because I like
Yeah.
seeing great performers. I got to see Usher, I got to see Chris Brown. I feel like I have to go see Beyonce. There's not that many great performers left, man. I think we actually need to appreciate them while they're still around because there's not too many of you that's putting efforts in their best showmanship into a show and performing. If I spend my money, I don't want to spend my money with you just walking around with 50 niggas on stage yelling to a mic. Like I really want a performance. I'm paying that type of
Right.
money for tickets. There's only a handful of artists that's going to give you these great performances, bro. I'm telling you, there's a million concerts that's going on around the world, where there are small club concerts, the regional concerts where they're doing stuff. There's people touring and doing shows all the time. Not a lot of them are great performers, bro. So the fact that we have these people and they're doing stadiums, I hope I get to see every single one of them. I kind of don't want to go to I may go to the Chris Brown show. Who knows? I've seen Chris like two, 3 times already. So I don't know, but great performers, we can't afford to like underappreciate because when they're gone, we're going to be talking about how there's no great performers. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely have to show love and appreciate them while they're here. One of the biggest or best shows I've been to wasn't even like a main concert. It was actually a festival, man. And I love all the festivals. I went to Rolling Loud early before, got like a little really younger with the age demographic and a lot of wild shit happening there in Miami. I think one of the best performers I've seen in person was Travis Scott. I think he does amazing on stage from, how he connects with the fans and, just the whole set. He puts a lot into it and a lot of energy into it. I appreciated Usher set at Lovers and Friends a year over last. He in the festival, I didn't know how long it was gonna be, man, but he went through a lot of his catalog. And that was dope. I think another one that was cool for me personally was I went to a Legends of Hip Hop tour. It had like 8 Ball, MJG, Scarface, DMX. I think Mike Jones was on it. There was a lot of, it was like, some legends on the tour. And I thought that was dope to see X, because I never got to see X in his prime. So to see X and he was still putting that energy into it was dope. And then like that was my last time I got to see X live on anything, first and last time. But that was dope to be able to see. And one of the coolest things, it wasn't even like supposed to be a performance. It's just some club walkthrough shit, not even like a concert or a show. But I thought this was dope, being that he's no longer here. But I appreciated it then because I was on to the Crenshaw mixtape a lot, and that's when I got to see Nipsey, and he came through a club here. He was just doing a walkthrough, but he performed a couple joints off that Crenshaw album. And being in Jacksonville, not a lot of people appreciated it at first. But I like that I got to see him in his presence, and that's early on before the hype caught him with everybody. And then one last one, who's one of the two last ones. That's one of the dopest performers I got to see just from a showmanship standpoint. That's non-hip hop. I would like to say Charlie Wilson, but re-performing with the Gap Band was dope. For him to still move and dance that whole set is amazing. And then on a hip hop legendary standpoint, I got to see Dougie Fresh. And when I say this man probably beatbox for like 30 minutes and put on a fucking show, that's hip hop in its rawest, purest form, man. So yeah, man, I've seen a lot of dope artists. Now, I know I'm missing a lot, but those are the ones that come to head firsthand. Sorry.
Dope.
You want to go, Leroy?
Well, Leroy went.
No, I went. You know what I mean?
Well, man, it's hard for me to say, bro.
Spent a
Because
lot
like I
of
said,
time in the small hip hop clubs.
this shit is what I do, man. Like I'm a comedy show. I'm a comedy tour, comedy show guy, and I travel. So like this is what I do. Like for the most part, I've seen like so many artists, but I'm gonna say like the ones that really stand out the most to me. I've never seen DMX live. He's the only one that I could say out of anybody that I truly respect like that I didn't get the chance to see was DMX. But for me, I'm gonna say my best performers or the best times that I've had throughout the performers was I gotta go with Juvenile. Juvenile was a great performer, man.
He was
When I
on that
seen him
Legends of Hip
live,
Hop
bro.
tour. Yeah.
Yeah, Juvie. I think Juvie do a great job as far as crowd participation and the way that how the crowd reacts to him, the way that people know his lyrics and know his songs, and like it just make you feel good. It's like everybody in there singing the shit right along with you. I can't really explain it, but it just feels good when you hear people give an artist that love or give a song that type of love. And Juvie was it was in a smaller venue, so it wasn't really like extremely big. When I seen him actually 3 different times. But this one specific time it was kind of smaller and just the atmosphere was dope as hell. So I gotta give it to Juvie as one. Number 2 for me gotta be 8 Ball and MJG. They are another one that I seen at a smaller venue. I went to the concert, and then me and my lady we went to the after party, and they performed at the after party.
Oh, that's dope.
And that shit was cracking, man. It was live. It was like packed house. They was inside of the crowd walking around with us, showing love, like really drinking, hanging out. You know what I mean? Like they felt safe. Milwaukee is a place where a lot of these guys they come. Like even Too Short. I've been to a concert. Yeah, live with Too Short. The porn star Pinky, Tila. It was a lot of people at this concert, but it was a smaller venue. And right after he got off the stage, he was right in the front row with us, cheering on Tila and the other artists. You know what I'm saying? So he felt comfortable. So that was for me. It's more about the experience for me. I can't really say the best performers, but I'm gonna say the best performances I've seen live and had a great time with on a personal level. So those my top 3 for sure.
No doubt. No doubt. Go ahead, Servon, before I go with my list.
Because it just came to mind. I did get to see Juvie. He was on that Legends of Hip Hop tour with DMX too, so I got to see him. I've seen Juvie a bunch of times. Same with Trick. I've seen Trick and Trina a bunch of times.
I've seen Juvie before too.
But another one I would like to say, I remember I went to the King of the South tour. Now this is T.I. when he's like up there. This is my first real concert, not like my city radio stuff. They used to do this thing called Come Together Day each year, and that's it's no thing. It's not nothing bad about it. They bring the best of the artists there at that time. But my first real structured concert was the King of the South tour, and that had it was T.I., Lil Wayne, Jim Jones because We Fly High at the time, and it was Lil Wayne, Baby, Jim Jones, T.I., and T-Pain. And man, T-Pain, that was like at the beginning of Epiphany, that second album. He killed that. To see Lil Wayne go out there and do Leather So Soft, that was at the time of like Father Like Son, and he come out there with the guitar and do Leather So Soft. That was dope. And the CTI, man, this is prime hotter than hot Ti. At the time, and to go see all of them, that was dope. And then oh man, there was another concert I went to. Damn, I had it right there in my mind right before, and I was trying to hurry up and get that out. But there was Legends of Hip Hop tour, and then there was these three, and I'm just gonna stop at these three performances. I got to see Nas and Lauryn Hill in Jacksonville. Nas came out in the Jacksonville jersey and went straight into Black Republican. And then like him and Lauryn Hill wasn't late either, surprisingly, but I was kind of disappointed in the performance just slightly because she wasn't performing songs in the same like way of which they were recorded. So the band was altering a little bit. So some of the songs you didn't know what they were a little bit until okay, that's the song. So she wasn't performing them in the original thing. I don't know if that had to do with any like contract stuff that where she can't. I don't know how that stuff went. But Nas killed that performance. I got to see him. I got to see Goody Mob and Erykah Badu a few years ago. I think that was dope. And
Erykah Badu is always dope.
Yeah, she's dope. But one that tops all both of those ones, and she held it down by herself, no opener, no background singers, and it was Jill Scott. And she was doing the anniversary of, I think, her first album. And when I say Jill Scott killed that shit, she killed it, bro. Just her and the band. It was in an intimate, more setting. It was like in a performance theater here. And I'm telling you, she killed it, bro. So yeah, man. Those are good shows. I call some dope shows.
Hey, I do got to give a special shout out. Leroy brought her up, but I do got to give a special shout out to Beyonce. I seen Jay and Beyonce in Chicago at Soldier Field, and Beyonce killed that shit. Like, I got to give her respect as far as a live performer and like the way that she did her thing on the Run tour. She definitely did her thing on that. And who else can I say that on the low that really that's really good, but people really wouldn't expect? Oh, I got to give it to Busta Rhymes on throughout the Nas. I went to the Nas and Wu-Tang tour, like a couple years ago, and Busta definitely. I never try to hide that I'm not really a major Busta fan. I do like some songs from Busta. But when you watch Busta perform, it does give you a whole new respect for Busta Rhymes. Him, Split Star, the way that they like play off each other in their live performances is really dope and it's entertaining. So shout out to Busta definitely for that. You can't not say that Busta when you talk about live performance.
Right. So I went to the Hard Knock Life tour back in the day. I was a youngster. I was probably like 13, 12. I don't know. I was a kid. Saw DMX. DMX was the best of the night. Jay did his thing. I think Meth Bleak was on the show, did his show. Ja Rule was on that show. But Red and Meth did their thing because they was jumping off the speakers. It was stage diving. They were at the amphitheater in Atlanta. It was hot. You know what I'm saying? So it was like the security. My uncle knew the security guards. He got us to go up front. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of my first introductions to like seeing DMX, and it was a special show. Went to the Smoking Grooves show. Smoking Grooves, it was Busta Rhymes and Spliff, as you said, Super. They was killing it. The Fugees was on that tour, and Wyclef was crazy. Wyclef Prize. I think Lauren was on the tour too. So it was the Fugees. I saw Common. Common opened up for Maxwell. I think it was Black Summer's Night. I think he was breakdancing and he was doing his b-boy thing. Common was dope. Saw Wu-Tang. When Old Dirty, they opened up for Rage Against the Machine. I was a youngster back then. Old Dirty did his thing. Meth did his thing. RZA. Who else I saw? I saw the On the Run. I took my wife for our anniversary, our honeymoon. We went to Italy. I saw On the Run in Milan. We looked crazy. We thought it was gonna be like one of them Atlanta shows. So our wife was dressed in a nice dress. It was at a soccer stadium. So I'm dressed in a suit, looking crazy. They thought I was part of the show. You know what I mean? But we didn't know. I didn't do my due diligence. If I didn't know it was at a soccer stadium, you know what I'm saying? I would have had a t-shirt and some jeans on. I'm dressed in, and she got heels on. She mad. You know what I'm saying? Because we thought it was gonna be one of them Atlanta shows. We the only black folks up in there. But some folks flew over though. You know, so a lot of ladies they got to go on trips. So, but Jay was dope. I saw the Jay-Z and Friends tour where he had Mary J. Blige. He brought T.I. out. It's like I think it was the time when R. Kelly backed out or something happened. Oh no, it was for Magna Carta tour. So it was just Jay-Z and he had a whole bunch of folks that was dope. I saw the Roots. The Roots were dope.
The Roots crazy.
Roots was crazy. I've seen on a non-hip hop, I've seen Babyface is dope. I've seen Kim. Kim is dope. I've been to a Pitbull show. Pitbull is a crazy performer.
Yeah, I seen Pitbull. I love
Pitbull is crazy.
I seen Tupac in 92 when he came up here for Jam for Peace. I want to say 92, 91. I seen Tupac back when I was like 10 years old.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But the best show was probably the On the Run. And I went to see Prince. I seen Prince piano on the mic tour at the Fox. That was his last show. The last time he did Purple Rain. I was there at that last show. He had 2 shows that night. Actually, he was there 2 days. He had a Thursday show and I think a Friday show. I caught the last Friday show. Last time he did Purple Rain, about a week later, he was dead. I saw him in Madison Square Garden. And a non-hip hop thing, I saw U2 at the Sphere in Las Vegas. That was dope. But
that sounded like that's dope in the Sphere.
The Sphere was crazy, man. It's like something that you seen out of a movie. I think after I saw the show, I told my wife, I said, I can't see nothing else. Like shit, because the sound.
So they do visuals in the Sphere when the song, like when they're playing.
It's like visuals, man. It's like it's interactive. Like there's no seat's a bad seat. So we had like because my paper wasn't right, so I was in the 400 level. But every seat was a good seat, and like it's immersive. It's like you're surrounded by sound. There's like speakers in your seat. So you hear every note, you know what I'm saying? You see it's like in the round. It's just crazy, man. And I told my wife, I said, I can't go see no other show after this. I mean, what can I see after this? It was so crazy. But,
I mean, that's a whole other game that hip hop should get into is the performance itself. Now, once we get into that game, because rappers, we just walking around, we're not even really tripping. But if we get into that part of the game, it gets different. That's hip hop on another level.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And lastly, the worst show I ever seen. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm not saying they bad performers. It's the worst show I ever seen. I got to give the Most Def, man. Most Def show was terrible, man. Because he wasn't doing the records. He was changing it up too much. Like he wasn't performing he wasn't dropping the beat and doing his vocals. He was like he had some banjos or some bongos, and he was like doing Miss Fat Booty on some bongos, and it was just like it just wasn't. People was walking out. You know what I'm saying?
He do be changing up. I seen him on YouTube. He do be.
Hey, I'm gonna give y'all a gem about Milwaukee, and a lot of people know about it. A lot of people travel here for it. But we got a Summerfest that's been going on like for a very long time, and it's about maybe about a month festival. It's almost like a baby Woodstock in a certain way, where we get different artists from all over the place. They perform certain people perform on free stages. Like I've seen the Roots probably 10 different times over the years just here in Wisconsin. I've seen Erykah Badu multiple times just from going to Summerfest. And if you in the Milwaukee area, I mean, we throw a dope summer festival, and it's strictly all music. It's music from all over and music of all type of genres. But that's how I seen Tupac when I was about, like I said, maybe like 8 years old. You know what I mean? So because it was at Jam for Peace, and you just go up there and it's all day concerts. You come and you know what I mean, all day it's concerts there the whole night for about a month. So you know what I'm saying, look into it, y'all. It's called Summerfest. It's worth traveling to. You come up here and kick it for a whole week and go and see some dope music for about like $20 just to get in. Come up here and stay all day.
Hey, one last thing before we go to the next topic. Big Daddy Kane and Biz Markie, crazy. On the ones and twos, Biz Markie was one of the dopest I seen on a DJ as a DJ. Like I was at a conference in San Antonio, and he was just killing. His set was like about an hour and a half. He would just had the whole place rocking. And then Big Daddy Kane, to be like old, like he is, or an older man, one of the best live performers I ever seen. He was break
To this day,
dancing.
He's crazy.
He was doing his thing. So big shout out to Big Daddy Kane.
No doubt.
See, y'all seen some legends. All of us have seen some legends.
See some legends.
My only legend that I really still want to see, that I'm gonna see, because I know you're gonna come sooner or later, is Ice Cube. Every time I meant to go, like I actually had tickets for Ice Cube, and every time Ice Cube came, I had to like give the ticket away, or I had to go out of town or something crazy. So I've always missed Ice Cube. I gave Ice Cube tickets to my mom, and she went, and she had a great time. He had an all-white party.
He come to my city, and I hope that it goes through, because this is Jacksonville. I don't know how they're gonna respond to Ice Cube concert, but he's supposed to be coming to my city, man, this year. So because he's going on tour, and I don't know if I'm gonna go see him or not. You know,
hey, but Ice Cube, you know, usually when they do come, it's like a nice, grown and sexy event. So it'll be like an all-white party now, or it'll be something really, you know, something slick. So I know the last time I went, I was supposed to go. It was an all-white event, and it was kind of, you know, Ice Cube, man, he catering to his fan base. So it's kind of like sometimes he might do a grown and sexy type of event or something like that, or you know, it might be a certain criteria to get in. It could be suits, it could be hats, it depends. It's been a couple of different events for Ice Cube up here in Milwaukee, and most of the time when he does come, it's something different, you know.
No doubt. Without further ado, this is a show we've been teasing for a little bit. That's why I put Super right in the middle, because this is Super's guy, short dog, short dizzle from the Bay, from the Yay area, Oakland, one of hip hop's finest, a legend. Too Short. The best of Too Short. We're gonna go to it. Let's start off Super with the best, the top 5 albums. Let's go with the top 5 albums.
Bet.
Sure.
All right. You know, I'm gonna say a couple of words for Too Short, man. You know, shout out to Too Short. Just dropped the album a couple of weeks ago. Just celebrated a birthday about a couple of days ago. You know what I'm saying? Too Short. Been rapping since 1983. Out before Ron DMC. 6 platinum albums, 3 gold albums. Has done features with Ice Cube, Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, Scarface, Lil Kim, Pimp C. I mean, you name it. You know what I mean? So he got respect from the game. And, you know, sometimes we downplay Too Short based on some of the things that we were talking about earlier today, you know, lyrical ability and things like that. But, hey, six platinum albums, that's a lot of albums, man. It's more than a lot of our favorite rappers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like this, just the nugget, and I don't want to give too much away because we probably gonna talk about this in the future. But man, hey, Ghostface Killer only got 1 platinum album. So, you know, we respect him. Jadakiss only got 1 platinum album. We show him love and respect. Too Short got 6.
Well, I mean, just briefly, and Too Short, you know, that's like someone I would see in real life all the time. Oakland is right there, you know what I mean? So he would be all through Oakland at the YMCA. He's throwing the football to kids. He's schooling us on how to get in the game. So I've seen him up close numerous times. So we got to respect that. But he's also responsible for the foundations of the game too, though. Like, what makes rap pop? Why is rap popular? Like, he was out, you know, pushing his tapes, making customized tapes for the local hustlers, turning up the bass. He made the beats. He made stuff that people could ride to. This is in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Early 80s. So the reason like rap period is even so popular is a lot of that is Too Short's doing. You know what I mean? So
hey, Andre Miller, like I said, we respect Ghostface. Ghostface is in my top personal 5, just like Too Shorts, but he only has 1 platinum album, bro. 1 platinum. Supreme Clientele ain't platinum. We love it. We put it on these lists as far as greatest hip hop albums. I mean, the Infamous just went platinum. You know, so you know, a lot of times we get caught up in our biases, and we all, like I said this on the previous show before, that we all East Coast bias, and we all like a lyrical standard, or we like certain type of standards. But I'm today I'm really here to highlight that Too Short does have some substance. Too Short ain't all about bitches and hoes and pimping all of the time. You know what I mean? He has a revolutionary spirit. He does have content where he spitting game or speaking real life and reality. And sometimes we overlook that because of, cocktails and bitch and what I mean? Sometimes we overlook that. But Too Short has very many, elements to the game that get overlooked. And we should, got to give him some respect, man. Man, still going. Just dropped the album last week.
And got three. Yeah, three that's supposed to be in total this year.
All right, so my top 5 albums from Too Short. I'm gonna start with 5, man. I'm gonna start with Short Dog in the House, which could, I mean, I know Too Short fans, y'all can argue me down. I mean, if you really fuck with Too Short like how I do, you can pick your order, say what you want. But Short Dog in the House got the ghetto, short but funky. Ain't nothing but a word to me, featuring Ice Cube and Pimpology. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these songs, man. You see how far the stretch of Too Short's legacy goes. Rock Marciano going through this and making a lot of these lists, man. Rock Marciano got a lot of these songs that's actually like titled after Too Short. You know what I mean? And Pimp C is another one of these guys that was in the game that really looked up hard to Too Short. You know what I'm saying? Real hard. Like he was basically like his idol. I mean, he the one that inspired Pimp C to rap. But I brought that up just to say, Rock Marcy, he has a lot of songs that have similar song titles. So we know Rock Marcy got Pimpology. That's one of the ones that that's one of my favorite Rock Marcy songs. But Too Short did it first. You know what I'm saying? So I just had to shine some light on my guy, man. Number 4, man, I'm going with Cocktails. The whole album, I mean, it's nice. It's not totally my favorite Too Short listen, because Cocktails I like Cocktails as a song, but it ain't a song that I'm really running back like that. So, but shout out to it. It's legacy. It's very many different versions of it. It's been out for a long time. There's I want to say he probably did it the first time on Shorty the Pimp, or I can't remember, but there's different many volumes to Cocktails. It's more than one version of Cocktail out there, but the album in itself, you got Ain't Nothing Like Pimpin'. You got the song Cocktails. You got the song Things Change. Top Down, which is another one of my favorite Too Short songs. West Coast heavy beat, pretty much describing the day of going out riding in the drop in the West Coast. One of my favorite Too Short songs on a personal level. We Do This featuring Tupac and MC Breed. Don't Fuck for Free, which is another one. You know what I'm saying? I said, like, shout out to Kendrick and his skit on Good Kid, Mad City, or is that Good Kid, Mad City? The Don't Fuck for Free, or is that To Pimp a Butterfly?
Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah. This is a call back to the Too Short reference on Cocktail. So shout out to Kendrick, shout out to Too Short. You know what I'm saying? Number 3, I'm going with Get In Where You Fit In. It's got the classic I'm a Player. It's got the classic Money in the Ghetto.
Super classic right there.
It's got the classic Blowjob Betty, depending on how you like that. That's another one of these songs that I'm not really like. I don't really play too much on often. But the Ghetto, Money in the Ghetto is songs that still relate to me today. You know what I'm saying? I'm more heavy into more of the content version of Too Short. But I still respect and I still love that other shit too. The Dangerous Cruise featuring Spice One and Banks on the production. And shout out to Short, man. People don't give Too Short. And shout out to Pimp C. I like to bring this up when I try to talk about them, because a lot of people overlook the factor that they produced a lot of their beats. Too Short was a producer too, man. Like, and I really wanted to highlight that, but due to time and real life things happening and life happening, I kind of wanted to highlight some of the tracks that Too Short actually produced himself, because people don't really look at Too Short. Too Short was a producer, and I would say that he's one of the godfather of the G-Funk era, and actually of soul sampling. I mean, he was sampling Parliament way before a lot of these soul samples was really into hip hop. Before '92, before Primo was out really doing it.
Right.
Too Short was one of the first ones that was really bringing a lot of that funk. Before even Dr. Dre. Before Dr. Dre, Too Short had funk in his music. Before NWA, Too Short had funk in his music. So I really want to say that Too Short is the father of G Funk. I don't want to say the father of soul samples, but it's very close that you can say that he's one of the first to give you a soul sample in hip hop as well. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Short for that, for real, man.
I
It's an
would just
overlooked
say,
factor. It's an overlooked
yeah,
factor when it comes down to his legacy, that he actually was a
that
producer and a rapper at the same time.
that is definitely overlooked. I would say the only difference between the Bay and LA is in the Bay they're putting emphasis on how it knocks. You know what I mean? And LA has their oldie scene where a lot of oldie songs that they like or a little left from Parliament funk, but it's still the same techniques. But that's the little difference right there. They have an oldie scene in their own cruising lowrider clubs and stuff versus our motorcycle and motor muscle cars and stuff like that. But I'm not mad at that argument though, because you're right. He was around early before the G Funk thing became a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And before soul samples became the thing, he was bringing a lot of those soul samples into it.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And picking out certain ones with the soul in
Yeah,
it to make soul samples.
yeah.
So I got to cut out because I got to run. I got to I'm meeting at 6:30. But no, that's a fact. So I'm glad that you shouted that stuff out because even though I'm from the Bay, it's like we kind of picked a side to listen to. There was Too Short and E40. I picked the E40 side. I don't know why. I'm just in our young minds. We felt like it was a side you had to pick. You know what I'm saying? So on the E40 stuff, I know back like the back of my hand. And Too
That's why
Short,
I'm
I'm
so
still
happy. I'm
learning
from the
stuff.
Midwest, man. Like we really didn't get into that pick a side shit. Like, man, the
Yeah, right,
Midwest,
right.
we just took it
Mhm.
all. We took it as music
Yeah,
and just
it
kept it
was
moving.
really no
You know.
sides, but in
Yeah, for
our
sure.
young minds, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? But nah, shout out to y'all fellas, man. Y'all keep cooking, man.
Salute.
Of course,
Yes,
I see
sir.
y'all on the weekend, man. Yes,
No doubt.
sir.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, moving on to the next one, man. I got to go with number 2, Shorty the Pimp. One of my favorite Too Shorts, for sure. It's got In the Trunk. It's got I Want to Be Free, which is another one. Like I said, he brought a lot of Parliament. You know what I'm saying? Like he featured them. Like he didn't really try to steal their ideas or deny the fact that it was Parliament. He actually gave them credits on the album and said that it was featuring Parliament or said it was featuring George Clinton or said whoever was really featuring and gave them credit and shouts out for it. Another song on here that's one of my favorites is Stepdaddy. I used to love Stepdaddy back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Stepdaddy was the shit. And another one is So You Want to Be a Gangster. You probably heard this song featured in I know it was on the Juice soundtrack. We was arguing about this, but I want to say that this song is actually in the Menace to Society. It's in the Menace to Society movie. It might not be on the soundtrack, but it gets played in the background. So You Want to Be a Gangster, where he's pretty much speaking
Yeah.
against gang violence and joining gangs. You know what I'm saying? Like Too Short, like I said, Too Short does not get enough credit for his lyrical and his content and his pro-blackness and his messaging other than the pimp shit.
And
He
shout
really
out to
don't. But
in Minister Society too. Cameo, he give the nigga the
yeah,
sticks, Yeah, shout out
yeah.
to
And number 1 on the album list, man, for me is Get In Where You Fit In. No, I'm sorry, Getting It. Album number 10. This is the album that Too Short was pretending to retire or thought he was gonna retire or felt he was too old to rap. But we all know eventually he came back. But this is when he's supposed to hang it up. And this is my favorite Too Short album. I think that this is the best Too Short album song wise from top to bottom. I mean, you can argue. We can argue. If I'm tripping, put yours in the chat. Put yours in the comment section. But I really think that from top to bottom, this is the best Too Short. We got the title song. We got Getting It. We got Surviving the Game, where he's spitting nothing but game on there. We got Fuck My Car, featuring MC Breed, which is another reference to another popular Pimp C song to show you that how much homage that Pimp C actually did really pay to Too Short. We got Buy You Some Nigga featuring Eric Sermon. We got Pimp Me, which is one of my favorite Too Short songs. Pimp Me is one of my favorite Too Short songs. I wake up in the morning and sometimes I feel like hearing that shit. Just the chorus alone. I'm not gonna say it on the internet, but if you know the song, you know the song.
I was playing some of that shit earlier, and my wife was like, "What the hell are you listening to?" She
Hey,
knows. She was like, "Who did I
hey,
marry?"
Never Talk Down on the Player featuring Rapper Forte. Shout out to Rapper Forte too, man. I was a nice Rapper Forte fan. Rapper Forte had a nice album. He had a nice little I can't remember the name of his album off the top of my head, but I did like it. I still remember lots of songs off of it, but it's been a while since I listened to it. But shout out to Rapper Forte. So what you saying is another one of them songs. So, y'all dig into the Too Short catalog, man, a little bit more. Dig into the Too Short catalog a little bit more.
No doubt, no doubt. You want to rattle off your top 10 Too Short songs?
Yeah, I can run them off real quick, or we can go straight to the features, but I can run off the songs real quick. Number one for me is The Ghetto. I mean, The Ghetto is I think it highlights what Too Short, the Too Short that I love. I mean, it's a song that explains the living situations in the hood, but it's also a positive song. It's almost like a keep your head up in a way. It's like a keep your head up version of, you know what I'm saying, before a keep your head up, you know what I mean? But it's a more general version of a keep your head up. So The Ghetto is number one. That's number one for me. You got any graphics for this, Ryan? Or am I starting in the wrong order?
No, I got graphics for it. So yeah, The Ghetto. So yeah,
Okay, so I think I did start in the wrong order. So I started at number one, but I'll go back to 10. 10 is top down from Cocktails. 10 is top down, which pretty much he just, like I said, he describes a day riding in California with the top down and the drop top. And, the beat is fire. The song, content, you know what I mean? It perfectly describes LA in the summer. And it's classic Too Short for me. I mean, like I said, I don't like to talk to people like they don't know what I'm talking about, because I assume that all of y'all should know something about Too Short in some way or another. So I don't like to, y'all know me, man. I'm not going to do a lyrical breakdown and highlight all of the best parts of the song, because you should know this shit because it's hip hop. So if you in the chat or if you in here and you pay attention to our show, you should know a little bit of some of this shit.
Yeah,
Number 9 is Never Talk Down on the Player. I mean, that's one of these songs. Like I said, I don't care if you're from the East Coast or the West Coast or down South. You hear a song like this and the game that they spitting down on there, and you hear the verses and you hear the beat. It's impossible not to like that song as just hip hop in general. You know what I'm saying? So if you didn't get the chance to run down some Too Short, I'm giving you some of the best and some of the highlights of Too Short. And this ain't none of that, really too much of that bitch hoe shit. This is some of that real shit that provides real value to Too Short and show you why people really love him to this day, and why he has 6 platinum albums and why he has 3 goals and why he's been rapping since 1983. Number 8 for me is Life Is Too Short, off the title track, or the title of the album, Life Is Too Short. It's another one. Too Short spitting game on there, giving life lessons, talking about the game and telling you pretty much what life is too short for you to be doing. Number 7, I Want to Be Free, is another one where he's pretty much talking about police brutality, the situations and circumstances of Black folks in America. It's one of those straight up substance songs. It's a revolutionary song done in a revolutionary spirit, done with context, done with Black pride. So, like I said, this Too Short is definitely not just a bitch hole rapper. You know what I mean? He's definitely not just a sideways lyrical rapper. He's got lyrical abilities. He just does it to serve his purpose. You know what I'm saying? I Want to Be Free. Number 6, Short Dog, or Short the Funky, is another one. If you really listen to this song, I mean, he still got some substance in this song. it's a song where he pretty much describing himself, and he's talking about life, and he's giving out lessons for manhood throughout the track. He's spitting game throughout the track. That's something that's just what Too Short gonna do no matter what. Number 5, Money in the Ghetto, where he is giving the ghetto a shout out for, yeah, okay, you know, it might be the ghetto to you, but we still living good down here. We living with class. We got some pride about ourselves. It's another Black Pride song for me, where he's showing you that, yeah, okay, we live in the ghetto, but we make the best of our circumstances and we make this shit look good. So it's another one of my favorite Too Short songs is that make me feel proud to be Black and help me deal with my circumstances and situations when I was a little young nigga living in the ghetto listening to this shit. Number 4, I'm a Player. I think we all know this song, man. One of the smoothest bass lines of all time.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? One of the smoothest choruses of all time. And it tells the story of Tupac. You know, I mean, not Tupac, I'm sorry, Too Short. So, yeah, for sure. Getting It is another one of them. Off the classic album, number 10. I think, you know, I don't have to go too far on this. You should know this song. Getting It is definitely a classic Too Short song. And number 1 or number 2, In the Trunk. In the Trunk. This is a Too Short produced song. So Too Short produced this beat, and it's classic Too Short. I know we all have heard this one way or another, and if you haven't, you better get up on it. And number 1, The Ghetto. So these are my Too Short songs for dummies. You know what I mean? For people that don't know too much about Too Short, want to understand the appeal of Too Short, want to understand why Too Short been in the game for a long time. Those are 10 of my songs that represent why Too Short gets respect and art and is a legend in this hip hop shit. So salute to Too Short.
Hands down.
Hey, hands down, man, hands down. And you didn't give us the ones that the folks, the casuals would know. You gave us the ones you had to dig deep in the crates, to dig deep in this catalog.
I gave you the real ones.
The real one. You didn't give me the periphery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you a
Blow the
T-shirt
Whistle,
song.
you know, and shout out to Blow the Whistle, shout out to Cocktails, shout out to a lot of them songs, you know what I mean? But these are the songs that that made Too Short stick around for me. Those are the songs that I like to highlight when I put somebody on the Too Short. Those are the songs that I go to when they think that he ain't nothing but a bitch. You know what I mean? Or when he think that that's all he's about is bitch and saying shit about women and whatnot. You know, it's more to Too Short than meets the eye.
I like a lot of the records that you selected, but it was one record that had a very impressionable, was very impressionable to a young mind. And I'm so embarrassed to say this right now, but I forgot what album this song was. It was called. I can't even say it was called Two B's. It was like two B's at the same time. And you know what I'm talking about? He said,
I can't think of what album
he was talking. He was rapping. He said, "I got a girl, took her to the club. Pick which one you want to cut." Yeah, I always used to be in middle school, so and I think my grandma came in the room one time. I said, "What the hell you listening to?"
Hey, but to be honest with you though, man, you know, like there's two sides to Too Short. You know, there's two sides to Too Short. There is the vulgar side, there is the pimp hoe side. But to be honest with you, man, I mean, I almost look at Too Short as a prophet, man. I mean, Too Short was telling us the future.
The game.
Yeah, I mean, he was telling us the future about or he was really giving us the real about like that type of activity from the Oakland streets and what he was really seeing. And a lot of the things that he was saying in those rhymes do reflect reality. Another unknown fact that I give to Too Short is Too Short had a website. This ain't I don't want to give this. I'm not really giving him no props one way or another, but I just bring this up to just think about the money that he really could have made if he would have stuck with it. He had a website at one time called pimpinho.com. And it was basically like OnlyFans before OnlyFans. It was OnlyFans before OnlyFans for real. And if he really stuck with that idea, just imagine like the guru and the mogul that Too Short would be looking. You know, imagine how rich he would be if he was the real the founder of of OnlyFans, or if that website would have really took off. I mean, Too Short really would be popping right now.
He was ahead of his time. He really was.
Yes, for sure.
No
And the
doubt.
movie, I don't know if anybody's seen the movie Freaky Tales. I seen the movie Freaky Tales, and it actually it I don't know what I honestly, like, I don't want to give the movie away for anybody in the chat or y'all too if y'all seen it. Either one of y'all seen it?
I haven't seen it.
I hadn't seen Freaky Tales. What's it on?
It actually highlights, like, Too Short, like a time period, a time in his life, because it's loosely based on Oakland, and I don't know if the story is supposed to be loosely based on true events or what, but the movie was actually, it was all right. I mean, it wasn't. Can't say it was great. I won't say that it was horrible, but it's slightly thriller slash horror slash comedy, if you want to even call it that. But it gives a couple of Too Short songs a highlight, and there's a song. Damn, I can't remember the song right now. Don't Fight the Feeling. Don't Fight the Feeling is highlighted, and it shows, like, pretty much how the song kind of formulated and how he got the idea, and it's basically performed with the battle between these two ladies that they kind of handpicked, and they pretty much rap dope. So what was the girl's name? I cannot remember the girl's name, but that part is real in the movie. So they do use a certain part of Too Short's life or his come up as reference in the movie, and there is a character as Too Short in the movie, and there is some two females that play the people that are featured on Don't Fight the Feeling, and they perform that song on there, and it kind of goes into that. Like I said, without giving too much of the movie away, it was pretty dope. So salute to Too Short for getting some respect, and he narrates the movie as well. He narrates Freaky Tales, the movie, too.
No doubt, no doubt.
Oh,
Hey, the song.
to know
Go
when
ahead,
they
Sir
did
Ron.
the trailer, that's what I want to know. I want to know, like, what was his part with the movie, or how closely did they relate anything to the movie? Because the trailer,
there's different chapters in the movie, right?
Yeah.
So there's like 4 chapters in the movie, but they all go together. So they show, like, different parts or different perspectives of different characters in the movie that lead up to one specific event. So altogether, I thought the movie was pretty straight. I mean, I thought it was all right. I thought it was pretty decent.
I'm gonna check it out. Yo, the song I was talking about was on the You Nasty album. It was called Two B's. Y'all check it out and let me know what y'all think. But
yeah, that, and you know what? Since you brought that up, that's another gold album. I didn't even count that album, but that actually went gold as well.
Yeah, you shouldn't be listening to that song before you go to school, but I did. But I enjoyed it though. I was
a
young.
joint that I rock with, and it's like not even one of those older joints. It was probably 2000s. It was on the Lil Jon the East Side Boys album, and I know he had the regular version of this, but it was on the Lil Jon Put Your Hood Up album, and it was called Let My Nuts Go with Nationwide Riders and
Oh yeah,
that was my shit. Yeah, I still listen to that record when I hear it. That's just one of them joints.
What? I'm gonna jump right into these features, Ron. I can't remember exactly the order.
Just run them down. I don't got no graphics for them. Just run them down.
I'm gonna go off of what I remember. So number 10, I think I had on my list was it On My Level, featuring Wiz Khalifa. I think we all know. Remember that track. On My Level was fire at the time, and Too Short verse was. He went ham on that verse, or it was one of the two. But I think I had that or Life of the Party at 10. But
Life of the Party was 10. On My Level was 9.
Life of the Party, Life of the Party featuring Snoop. And I almost didn't want to really put this on the list because he ended up, eventually forming a group with Snoop, and I could have probably put another Jay-Z song on here, but I didn't. Number 8, I'm going with A Week Ago, featuring Jay-Z.
Yeah,
we know he pretty much stole the show on that. For me, I mean, I think that Too Short stole the scene from Jay-Z on there. I mean, he showed what he's worth on that song alone. Bia featuring Lil Jon, another great Too Short feature. Classic verse from him. Classic song. Him and Lil Jon's chemistry I wouldn't mind seeing them two collab one more time before it's all over, because they really responsible for like the rebirth of Too Short career, and Too Short is responsible for the birth of Lil Jon career,
I think
and
they are.
he owe him beats for life. He
I
owe him
think they
beats for
are.
life.
They are. I think one of the albums that Too Short is putting out, I think is exclusively produced by Lil Jon.
That'd be dope. I think they deserve another run because they got some classic albums together. Number, what is that? 6, Jazzy Hoes featuring Jermaine Dupri.
All I like is
Another
them jazz.
another
Classic.
another classic song carried by Too Short, and you still can hear this song and it still sounds good to this day.
Favorite song on the album?
I want to say I got Rapper's Ball on there. I probably wouldn't have it in this specific order, but Rapper's Ball featuring E40 and KC and JoJo is definitely a classic Too Short feature. The World Is Filled featuring The World Is Filled featuring Too Short on what is the name of it? Not like Life After Death. Yeah, on Life After Death, The World Is Filled, where Too Short steals the show from B.I.G. Man, let's keep it real. And he was sounded like he was talking about Biggie on the track on there too. To be honest with you, like he got on the track and told a story about Biggie and Faith right there in front of his face, right there on the track. You know what I'm saying? Number 7 or 2 or 3, I can't remember which order I'm in now, but either way, I still got him down. Call Me with Lil' Kim. This is another song. I just heard this song this weekend when I was out in the club, and this song still get the ladies going, man. Call Me with Lil' Kim. It's still a classic Too Short feature. It's still a ladies classic. The ladies still love it when they hear it. So shout out to Too Short and Lil' Kim with Call Me. Another one is F Faces with Scarface. I want to say this is on the Untouchable album.
Yeah.
Definitely a classic Too Short feature. Classic song, him and Devin the Dude. I mean, what more can we really say? We all should know about this. Everybody know that F Faces is a classic track. And number 1 for me is You Couldn't Be a Better Player Than Me. Classic. Probably one of the best Too Short verses of all time throughout his whole discography is on You Couldn't Be a Better Player Than Me with Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. Super classic Too Short song. Another one of them songs that I just heard when I was out over the weekend. It's never gonna die. It's one of them songs that's gonna forever be loved. At least where I'm from, right here in Milwaukee, we gonna always forever love that song. It's gonna get played till I die. So shout out to Too Short and Lil Jon for You Couldn't Be a Better Player Than Me.
No doubt, no doubt. Yo, Superman, great breakdown, bro. We gave Short Dog his due. Much respect to you for digging deep, going through the crates, and letting the world know, letting the audience know how important Tupac is, not Tupac, Too Short is to this game. You know what I'm saying? Rapping since 1983, Bay Area legend. So he got 6 platinum albums. How many gold albums he got, Super? He got 6 platinum.
He got 4.
Got 4 gold albums. You know what I'm saying? Still doing at the tender age of 59, putting people on game. A lot of things he said, like Super said, a lot of things he was saying in his lyrics, it was not only about the pimping, it was also about the conditions our people have been living in. You know what I'm saying? And about things that you, as a young black man, how you can navigate through them streets. So he told it from a perspective of being in Oakland, California. You know what I'm saying? In the Bay Area. So shout out to him, shout out to E40, but shout out to Too Short. And I'm glad we were to do this segment, man. Appreciate you, Soup.
Yeah, for sure, man. We gotta continue to show love to like the real OGs in hip hop as we keep moving this shit forward, and can't remember where we came from. So Too Short is definitely one of them artists that raised me. You know what I'm saying? Like he's one of those guys that I was listening to Too Short before I was supposed to be listening to Too Short. So I got a found respect for Too Short that maybe a lot of people don't have, and they might not respect Too Short because he don't sell records in the East, but hey, Too Short ain't got 6 platinum albums for nothing. Somebody was out there listening.
Facts.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Well, brothers, we gonna transition out tonight. We had a full show. Sir Vaughn, final thoughts of the night, brother.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the OGs. Shout out to Too Short. as far as like where it goes and where we stand with music, man, like I said, and I always say, man, we just let's listen to and praise what we like, and what we don't like, don't give it no shine, man. With Ab's situation, I hope Ab's I hope he does get to just do that he does, because I think he's talented. I think he's a genius when it comes to his pen. I just don't think it translated well to a broader audience. So I'm looking to see what the next chapter will be for him, if it even goes to a route of him getting that shine in some way. And then I'm locked into these NBA playoffs, man. I'm looking at this New York game right now. That's why I've been, putting in my parlays, man.
Who up?
Bets. New York is up 10. Well, let me see, because I know my stuff on the Fire Stick is a little bit behind. Let me see. Yeah, it's 103.96. That's right. 103.96.
Fourth quarter.
New York. Yep, New York up. But yeah, man, shout out to the OGs. Like I said, man, we got to keep good music alive. We preserve this hip hop thing, and shout out to everybody that tune in. It looks like we had a lot of people in here checking us out. So I appreciate it, man. Y'all keep it coming. Y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Have them like and subscribe, and we're gonna keep the shows coming for you guys.
No doubt. No, shout out to everybody on X, man. We got almost 158 people in the building on X. Shout out to everybody on YouTube as well. So that following on X is growing. So we appreciate you tapping in. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us tonight. Super final thoughts, bro, on your end.
Hey, my final thoughts is listen to that damn Benny the Butcher and Bodie James album. Not album, but that track, man. That track, like I've been playing that shit on repeat. Shout out to BX the Plug with that country song. I can't remember the name of it, but that country song that he got with that country dude, that's one of the dopest songs I've heard.
Who's the artist? Is it Morgan Wallen?
I cannot. I don't remember right now offhand. I
know they had a video or something that scene.
I honestly, I done listened to that song probably like 10 times, so I should know that name. But I mean, BX the Plug, man, we gotta be paying attention to BX the Plug, man. He out here making super songs, y'all. That country song. If you ain't heard that song that he got, I wish I could remember the name right now off top.
All the Way.
If you ain't heard that, All the Way. That's the name of it. All the Way. If you ain't heard that song hey, that's a super song. That's one of them songs that that's you're gonna hear that song for a long time.
That's that Texas, bro. That's that Texas.
Yeah, that's one of them songs. It's probably the best country hip hop collaboration of all time, like already instantly off top. And it's a pretty dope song. So shout out to BS the Plug, man. He pretty dope. He keeping it coming. But that Benny the Butcher and Bodie James, that's the song right now that took over maybe for Song of the Year so far for me. So I'm gonna give everybody a good chance to catch up on it. Hopefully we probably do a review before the album come out. But right now, Benny the Butcher got me paying attention. Bodie James got me paying attention. I don't know if it's gonna be a double album or if it's gonna be a collab album or if that was just a feature. But if they cooking up the way that song sound, I'm anticipating something because I love that beat. I love the way Benny is rapping and the way Bodie is rapping on there. So shout out to them, man. That's I'm paying attention to that right now. That got me pretty geeked up to hear the next Benny track, next Benny album, just to see what he's gonna do. I think that he gets and understands the mission right now. So shout out to both of them.
Yo, shout out to them, man. Shout out to Big S the Plug. Shout out to that whole Texas wave and the DFW. A lot of artists in Texas right now, especially North Texas and Dallas, is doing it. Houston had it for a long time, but now the North Texas is getting that light. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, they go back and forth.
They go back and forth. So shout out to everybody in the DFW. Big X the Plug. Shout out to Benny the Butcher. I think the album drops on Friday. Check out his new single. Also check out the Lloyd Banks if you haven't. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Go to www.accordingtohiphop.com. We setting records on the website this month, so let's continue doing that. Shout out to Master P. Master P had a birthday early this week. Super, gave us a list of the top, Master P songs that we appreciated that he highlighted. Go to the website, check that out. But anyway, yeah, do your thing. And I just want to say one thing to the audience, man. Just because you have an observation, don't make you a hater. I also want to say, just because you observe things, you can, you don't make you a hater, man. So I just wanted to say that. I just want to put that disclaimer out there. You can observe and not hate, but shout out to everybody getting it. Shout out to Too Short. Check us out on the Weekend Rhyme. Servon and Mike will be here on Monday for Mike Check. And watch them playoffs, man. Y'all be easy. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Salute.